from Spotsylvania High School. Welcome to tonight's broadcast of the first round of the playoffs as the visiting Blue Devils take on the Spotsylvania Knights. I'm Mark O'Connell, flying solo at the moment, but when our game starts, Steve Peacock will be joining me. Well, you know, this is the first round of the playoffs, and the Blue Devils and the Spotsylvania Knights both at 4-6. They've played each other once before, and they met in the regular season, and Spotsylvania won by 1 point. These two teams are very evenly matched. Any team can win. I think personally that the Blue Devils, with the momentum that they have and the thrill of tasting victory the last 4 out of 5 weeks, have a lot of confidence tonight. And if they can avoid unnecessary penalties and mistakes, with the way their running game has been established behind Javay Coleclaw, there's no reason to think the Blue Devils can't get the big win tonight. But here's the thing. When it comes to the playoffs, it doesn't matter what the records are. You win and move on, or you lose and call it a season. All right, we're going to catch up in just a moment with Blue Devils head coach Ken Wakefield to see what he has to say about tonight's game. Stay tuned. All right, joined now by Blue Devils head coach Ken Wakefield on a cold, blustery night in Spotsylvania. How's it feel to be here?
Yeah, it feels great. Anytime you get a chance to play Game 11, it's outstanding.
Well, Coach, you guys have made it into the playoffs. Both teams are 4-6.
Yep.
And I know that sounds corny and cliche and all that because, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, for example, the concept momentum. Yeah. And yet there is something to that because I look at the Blue Devils at your last 5 games. You guys have won 4 of the 5 and actually could have won the game over Brentsville District, let that one slip away.
Yeah.
And in contrast, your opponent tonight, Spotsylvania, they've lost 4 in a row. Have you thought about momentum? Could that be a factor tonight going into tonight's game?
It could. We focus on seeing the best Spotsylvania they could be. That's our focus. Can't rely on momentum. It could be a factor, although we're preparing for them to be the best that they can be.
Well, it seems like there are a lot of teams you guys have played, been so evenly matched, it could have gone either way. And obviously, Spotsylvania is no exception. You guys played each other during the regular season. It was a 1-point difference in that game with the nod going to Spotsylvania. Looking back on that, what happened in that game that caused Spotsylvania to win and you guys come up short?
Well, a lot. I mean, turnovers obviously play a key role in that win. We didn't protect the ball very well in the first half. Gave them 3 turnovers. Special teams were also a factor. We weren't very good on that phase of the game either. And we got ourselves behind early, 21 points, and then fought our way back. But you can't give anybody 21 points and expect to come out on top.
And, Coach, since that loss to Spotsylvania, is it fair to say that it was after that game that you made the switch in the offensive alignment to go with Javay Coleclaw?
Yeah, right after that game, there was something else we needed. And, he's been a great answer. He's done great things this last half down the stretch for the last 5 games. We expect him to do good things tonight.
Well, Javay Coleclaw and company have led a very potent rushing attack for you guys. Yeah. And that could very well bode well for you tonight because Spotsylvania has not done well defending an opponent's run.
Yeah, I mean, in those last 5 games, not many people have been able to really stop our run game. They've slowed us down to a certain extent, but we get on people, and I think we can move them up front.
Coach, I don't know if you know this or not, and this is a thing that sports writers and fans like to talk about. Coaches don't give a lot of credence to it, but I have to tell you that if you guys win tonight, it'll be the first time the Blue Devils have won a playoff game since 2002.
Yeah, I did know that. I did know that. Yes, I did. I'm looking to try to break that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, the other thing I was thinking is as I analyze the season, and we've seen the Blue Devils in action many times, and I know about Spotsylvania. Yep. Here's my take on tonight's game, Coach. I don't see any reason why the Blue Devils can't win it unless you simply shoot yourselves in the foot.
We're going to put our best foot forward tonight. I expect them to do the same thing. We play the way we're capable of playing, and we plan on coming out with a win.
And one final question, Coach, and again, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us and instead of your pregame drills, taking the time out from that. The team has tasted victory 4 times this season. Tell me about the psychological impact those wins have had for your team, because I hear a lot of noise in the background. That's a good sign of team spirit.
Yeah, good. They've had a good week of preparation. They know what's on the line. it's win or go home, and now's the time to go win.
All right.
Yeah.
As always, thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, that was Coach Wakefield of the Blue Devils, and I'll tell you, the team has played well the last few weeks. They could be riding a 5-game winning streak. They let one against Brisbane District get away. However, they're playing a team that's on a 4-game losing streak. Anything can happen tonight. Both these teams are pretty evenly matched. And it's cold here at Spotsylvania High School tonight, but I think the players, they're not thinking about that because, as Coach Wakefield said, it's win or go home. And that's what it comes down to in the playoffs. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll have team captains meeting in the center of the field for tonight's coin toss to see how we're getting things started. It's the first round of the playoffs, and it's the Blue Devils taking on the Spotsylvania Knights. We'll be back for tonight's kickoff right after this.
Not everyone is an HVAC expert. Luckily, with 20 years of experience, Able Heating and Air can answer any and all questions you may have about your system. Peace of mind and knowledge that you made the right choice because they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
What do your clothes say about you? Well, if they were screen printed or embroidered at Triple Image, they can speak volumes. Originality, professionalism, experience. Your clothes can speak volumes with custom printing and embroidery from Triple Image. 829-1050. Battlefield Automotive is proud to continue support of our high school youth and the Culpeper community. Winner of the prestigious Ford President's Award for a record 13 consecutive years. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford offers award-winning service and unprecedented selection of new and used vehicles. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community.
CFC Farm and Home Center, hometown service since 1932. Finding the right outerwear for the job is difficult. Luckily, you'll find Carhartt clothing, Red Wing, and Irish Setter boots. From head to toe, it's easy to outfit with CFC Farm and Home Center. Found in Sons Funeral Chapels has made it their business to provide solutions during difficult times for over a quarter of a century. During that time, they've also made an investment in our youth through football, basketball, softball, baseball, lacrosse, skateboarding, and 4-H, among other projects. Good luck to tonight's teams and do your best. Every lifelong relationship starts with day one. At Virginia Community Bank, we'll talk about how you can bank with us for life. With 40-plus years of experience in Culpeper and beyond, it's our privilege to help clients achieve their goals, short-term, long-term, and everywhere in between. Bank with us anytime. Bank with us for a lifetime.
All right, welcome to tonight's broadcast of the first round of the 3A Region B playoffs here at Spotsylvania High School, where the visiting Blue Devils take on the Spotsylvania Knights. I'm Mark O'Connell alongside Steve Peacock. The man in the cold tonight behind the camera is Jeff. Steve, we just heard it playing the national anthem, and what a nice job they did. In fact, a little added dimension, they turned the lights off and played the anthem, and there's a sign there at the fence that says it's nighttime. That's night with a K, because it's Spotsylvania's mascot. Now, we usually throw out records when we talk about playoffs, but maybe it's no coincidence that these two teams come into tonight's game with a record each of 4-6, pretty evenly matched up tonight.
Yeah, they do, Mark. They come in really matched up together, bringing identical 4-6 records, and it's going to be, but the Culpeper team is going to be a lot different offensively than the Knights faced previously.
Yeah. And so we're waiting for the lights to come back on here, and we can talk about what to expect tonight. Well, Steve, I mentioned to Coach Wakefield in the pregame that, you know, the Blue Devils have won 4 of the last 5 games. In fact, they could have been 5-0 because they let one against Brentsville get away. However, Spotsylvania, on the other hand, looking to snap a 4-game losing streak tonight. And, of course, that aside, I mean, it's when you're in the playoffs, obviously it's a win and move on or lose and go home.
Right, it's a win and go on situation. You know, lose, you go home. And I can tell you right now, Mark, this is going to be a very close ball game. I have a feeling tonight, whoever makes the least mistakes tonight from a penalty standpoint and turnovers will win this ball game. But it's going to be a hard-fought contest, a little cold tonight, so that's might play into some of the decision-making tonight for both coaches. But I think tonight is going to be a lot of running, and because the Spotsylvania is prone to giving up a lot of rushing yards, And you're going to see Culpeper with Culpeper's new revamped offense. You're going to see that play right into Culpeper's hands. So expect a big game tonight. Spotsylvania jumped out to a big lead in the first game, 21-6. Culpeper came back but couldn't convert in a 2-point conversion and lost by 1 point. So I think there's a revenge factor in there for the Blue Devils, and we'll see what's going on tonight. But again, you're right, one and done tonight.
All right. And the Blue Devils have some additions to tonight's roster. They include number 25, Zaire King, number 80, Reese Reynolds, and number 85, Osmond Reindorf. Right now, you're looking at team captains from both teams. Spotsylvania, the home team, wearing the white helmets, white pants, red jerseys, and the visiting Blue Devils in the white jerseys. And you know about the team captains left to right for the Blue Devils. Number 1, Capone Hall. 75 is Grant Hibbert. 2 is Nazir McDonald. And number 68, Robert Stradiff. Steve, let's talk about the Blue Devils on offense, because they made a big change a few weeks ago where they took Capone Hoffman out from quarterback, moved him at wide receiver, put Javay Coleclaw back there with direct snaps to Coleclaw. And between Coleclaw and some of his teammates, including Noah Staten, the Blue Devils have established a very respectable running game.
Yeah, they have, Mark, and they've revamped their whole offense. But now you're still gonna have to mix in some passing. And I think last week Culpeper proved that against William Monroe, where Javay Coleclaw attempted 15 pass attempts, which is very, very unusual for Culpeper's offense. But I think tonight you're going to see I would think you might, Coach Wakefield will probably try to throw it a little bit, but I think you're predominantly going to see the run.
Well, Spotsylvania won the toss. They elect to defer. They look over to the Blue Devils, and the Blue Devils say, we will receive the football. So, barring a miscue, we're going to see the Blue Devil offense tonight, Steve, first things after the kickoff. And we mentioned the change with Javay Coleclaw. And the Blue Devil offensive line has done a good job of opening up some running lanes for Coleclaw and company. How critical is it, do you think, when you think about the matchup tonight, that the Blue Devils really get off to a good start?
I think it's imperative, Mark, that they get off a good start, because if they don't want to get them in the hole like they did last time against Spotsylvania and earlier in the season and have to be forced to come back, because their run game, their offense is not a really come-from-behind team for that. I mean, they look at Manassas Park, jumped out to a big lead, and Culpeper was fortunate to come back in that game and win that game. But I think tonight you're going to have to execute and don't get behind the 8-ball and don't turnovers, and just play your game. And Culpeper should. If they do that, they can put themselves in for position for their first playoff win since 2002.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the way up here, and then I even mentioned it to Coach Wakefield in the pregame. He's aware. He knows the history that the Blue Devils have not won a playoff game since 2002. Back then, Randy Bogue was the head coach. They won the game over Colonial Forge and then lost the following week to Stafford. Here is Hunter Wheeler's kickoff from Spotsylvania. We're underway. Javay Coleclaw inside the 10 will return it. Straight ahead he goes. He's got a running lane, and they knock him down just shy of the 35-yard line. So the Blue Devils, Steve, will start off with above-average field position here on their first possession.
Yep, and that's exactly a big key. Good run back by Coleclaw. Get out to the 35-yard line. And when you get to that, starting field position bodes pretty well for your offense. But got a little injured Spotsylvania players, a little shaken up. Number 3, Tyson Tyler, looks to be shaken up on that tackle of Coleclaw.
Yeah, he made the solo tackle. They got a little stinger or something there, and it's cold tonight. The coldest night we've experienced this season is tonight. And the Blue Devils on offense to start things will start from their own 35-yard line. Javay Coleclaw back there alongside him. To his right is number 40, Blake Polari. But they handed off to Noah Staten. Good job by Staten following his blockers. Got across the 40 out to about the 42-yard line. A pickup of 7 yards on first down. And Steve, Noah Staten was one of the players we mentioned earlier this season who's really developed and emerged as a formidable, really steady football player.
Yeah, he's got close to 500 yards on the season, Mark. He runs hard between the tackles, and that's what you like to see. And Spotsylvania, like you said, has not defended the run very well this season. And you get 7 yards on first down carry. That's pretty good for your offense.
You'll take that anytime you can get it. Here is second down and a short three. Jave Coldclaw will look for running room. Nice move. Coldclaw fighting for extra yardage. Got inside Spotsylvania territory down at about the 47-yard line. Steve, let's set the offensive line starters for our viewing audience when we can, because you know what? That offensive line has done a good job this year. Number 77, the biggest guy up there, Taha Ali.
Yep, and then number 68, Robert Strait, who's captain, is the center, plays at the center position. He makes the offensive line go.
We'll pick them up as we can, but the offensive line as a unit's done a good job. Coldclaw handing off Noah Staten, right tackle. Now, not as many yards this time. He got inside the 45 to about the 44. So they're going with a running game here, and I think it's one of those things that if you establish it and you continuously have success, basically you're going to tell the defense, we're going to run it until you can stop it.
That's true, Mark. Led by number 64 on that play, Daryl Fitzgerald on the offensive line. Then Staten ran right up behind him, and Fitzgerald had good blocks, good hole for Staten to run through.
Now in the backfield, Riley Harrison, number 34, to the left of Coldclaw. And he gets the call. No, he fakes it to him. That's Jave Coldclaw. Coldclaw picking up great yardage. That was a nice play fake by Coldclaw. I know he certainly faked me out, and he must have faked out a few Spotsylvania defenders, because Coldclaw picked up first down yardage, and now have it marked at the Spotsylvania 33-yard line. And Steve, in 5 plays, the team has moved about 42 yards.
They have, Mark, and they've done a good job in rounding out that offensive line. Number 51, Jaden Brown, was in there too, and a good block up front.
Coldclaw back there now with Blake Polari on first down. Coldclaw is going to keep it. Straight ahead he goes. And Coldclaw lowers his shoulders and gets to looks like the 25-yard line, a pickup of 8 yards on the play. I don't know how many yards per carry that Coldclaw is averaging, but it's got to be a chunk.
It is, Mark. It's a chunk. He's just running right up there behind that offensive line led there by Tahi Ali, the big man right there on the right side.
Yeah.
And, also big number 64, Daryl Fitzgerald, leading the blocking up front.
Taha Ali, the right tackle. Robert Strait up the center.
And number 70, looks like it's 76, but I don't see him on the roster. Maybe 75, might be Grant Hibbert. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're right. This is a delayed handoff to Polari. Polari straight ahead, shy of the 20-yard line. He'll pick up about 3 yards. So the clock moving here, 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter. If you're just tuning in, Spotsylvania won the coin toss, opted to defer to the second half. Blue Devils opted to receive the first half kickoff, and they started this drive from their own 35-yard line. They've moved it down to the Spotsylvania 21.
And they're doing nothing fancy, Mark, just running the football.
Here's Coldclaw. Here's a handoff to Noah Staten. This time, Spotsylvania does a pretty good job of stacking him up after a short gain. He'll get to the 20, perhaps to the 19.
And I still think here, Jave Coldclaw proved against William Monroe. He can throw the football. Maybe a little play action right here. Have those safeties bite on that play action fake and come up, and then send somebody even from a slot position or even at the tight end position right down the middle. Boom. It'll be a touchdown. We'll see if they'll go with my thinking here, Mark.
Well, in 9 plays, the Blue Devils have moved it 46 yards on this drive. And they're looking at a second down here.
And there's a flag on the play?
I didn't see a flag. It looks like there's a little bit of confusion out there. If there is a flag, this would be our first one. And maybe you're right, because the Blue Devils are backing up. Here it comes. Illegal shift, 5 yards. First penalty of the night. Pushes the ball back to the 27-yard line.
And makes it first and 10, or a little, about first and 10.
Coldclaw back to the run. Straight ahead he goes. Bounces off that surge there. The offensive line got to the outside, picked up the lost yards and then some. Back to about the 20-yard line. So he picked up the lost yardage. Brings up a manageable situation here on second down for the Blue Devils. Steve, this has been run exclusively on this drive, and why not with the way they're picking up yardage?
Oh, I know, Martin. And if you can run with success right up the middle in the gut against Spotsylvania, that's what they're going to do. But I still think you got to keep them off balance, because they'll make the adjustments and attack those gaps.
Blake Polari, Noah Staten back there with Jave Colclaw here on second down. Got movement from Spotsylvania, may cost them 5 yards. Blue Devils signaled that that's exactly what the call is going to be, and the official will come in and make the call right here. It is a dead ball offsides call, 5 yards. Each team now penalized once, each for 5 yards. And they have it at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like about 2nd and 2, Mark.
Mm-hmm. From the 15. Colclaw, hands off. Noah Staten over left tackle. Noah Staten dives forward close to the 10-yard line. It'll be a Blue Devil first down. They're shy of the 10, right at the 11. This clock moving. We're down to 7:30 here in the first quarter. This is the opening drive of the Blue Devils. Steve, they started this one from their own 35. They've pushed it down now to the Spotsylvania 11, and they've done it exclusively by the run.
And they're looking impressive, Mark. They're looking like they're doing a real good job with their run attack.
Blake Polari back there, along with number 34, Riley Harrison. He's moved up as a freshman. He picks up the block, and they throws for the first time. Jave Colclaw, he's got a receiver about a yard shy of the first down, and it's number 4, Bradley Krim. So the first throw, that was sort of what you were talking about, Steve, a little play action, and to try to keep the defense honest, and there's that first pass, and I think that's exactly what that accomplishes.
Right, you had to do that, Mark, and that's keeps that defense honest right there, because if you just keep run, Spotsylvania's going to figure it out. And it's, like I said, attack the gap. So it was a good pass, good play, good catch all the way around.
They have the ball at the 3-yard line where it's 2nd down and 2 for a first down. Colclaw back there. And they snap it to him. Colclaw's going to keep it all the way. Tries to get to the edge, and he's very close to that first down marker. So
and they said he got in, too.
Got in for the touchdown?
Touchdown.
You're from 3 yards out?
3 yards out, Mark.
What do you think? Let me ask you. Let's see now. What do you think Steve Peacock would say at this point?
Touchdown, Blue Devils. Slave Colclaw from 3 yards out.
Well, let's highlight this drive when we get a chance. On for the point after is number 29, Gabriel Barros, and the holder, Capone Hoffman. We got movement, no penalty. Here's the kick. It's up, and it appears to be good. 7-0 our score with 6:23 to play. So, Steve, let's break down this drive. First of all, the Blue Devils took possession on their own 35, and I've got them with 3, 4, 5, 13 plays, 65 yards, and they consumed nearly half of the first quarter for this opening touchdown. And they did it. Of those 13 plays, 12 by the run. And did exactly what they wanted to do. You would think executing what would be a perfect game plan here early on.
Well, Mark, I agree with you. And what better way to be your best defense is your offense in the rushing ground attack, being able to chew up 6-7 minutes at a clip or longer, keep that Spotsylvania offense off the field, because they're explosive offensively as well. And that's a great way to start out the game. Very impressive drive by the Blue Devils. I thought they did a great job running that football.
And consumed almost half of that first quarter clock in the process. So 13 plays, 65 yards, capped by a 3-yard touchdown run by Jave Colclaw. And the point after by Gabriel Barros, and our score 7-0 Blue Devils here in the first quarter at Spotsylvania High School. This is round 1 of the 3A Region B playoffs. Here is Barros' kick. Straight ahead they go. This one's going to be fielded at the 20-yard line, 25-30. And that's where they stop the return man. And where Spotsylvania will go on offense for the first time tonight. The return man was number 3, Tayshawn Tyler. Let's see what Spotsylvania can do, Steve. We talked about both these teams being very run-oriented, so we're looking for Spotsylvania to try to match what Culpeper did and establish its running game.
Yeah, I'd look for Spotsylvania to try with that, with their winged tee offense. Where they like to run that single wing, and they like to run the football too. And see what it's going to be interesting. See what the Blue Devils can do. You got to find that football.
Well, we got a handoff to number 2, who took a big hit. after he crossed the 30-yard line. That was Malaki Terrell, the ball carrier, and he took a hard hit. Steve, I'm not sure who delivered it. It happened so quickly, but it smothered the ball carrier.
Well, he's going to be their quick back, Mark. He's going to want to be their speedster, so you're going to keep an eye out for him for Culpeper.
Picked up 4 yards to the ball carrier. It's 2nd down and 6. Spotsylvania from its own 33-yard line. The Knights trailing 7-0. You're on 2nd down and 6. We'll try to pick up your defensive starters as we can. Malaki Terrell again, the ball carrier. Good effort. They stop him near the 35-yard line, so we're going to have a 3rd down and 4 or 5 coming up for Spotsylvania. Well, you know, this broadcast is made possible by Triple Image. Make your clothes speak volumes with custom printing and embroidery from Triple Image at 829-1050. So we're looking at 3rd and 4 now.
Big 3rd down play, Mark. If they can keep him here with little or no yards, what does Spotsylvania do? They punt?
Well, you would think so at this point in the game when you think about field position early on, that sort of thing. But it is a big 3rd down for both teams here. Culpeper established its running game when it had the ball. Spotsylvania trying to do the same thing right here on 3rd down and 4. Here comes the run. And the offensive, the running back rather, that is Brandon Waller. He got to the 40, and he picked up a 1st down. That'll move the sticks for Spotsylvania.
Again, that was that wing T offense right there, Mark, and that it was little misdirection right there, and they Culpeper, bit on the first fake, but you've got to really find that football.
And Daquan Carter checks into the game for the Knights. And Carter lining up back there as a quarterback number 14 with Malaki Terrell, the ball carrier here. And the Blue Devils do a good job in pursuit defensively, and they hold him for no gain on the play. Blake Polari in on the tackle, as well as number 50, Cameron Buchanan.
And I've been saying the wing teams are really operating out of single wing. Is what they're doing.
Right.
And which is a little bit different than the wing T because you don't have the wings on both sides of the line of scrimmage. You only have it really on one side. But again, you can do a lot of misdirection, a lot of inside trap plays with that single wing offense. And really, Culpeper did a good job right there.
Yeah, single wing, oftentimes the ball could be hiked any back there. You don't know where it's going. So 2nd down and 10, Knights from the 40. Here comes number 3, the ball carrier, left tackle. Pretty good push there to the 45. Ball carrier was Tyshawn Tyler. Now another 3rd down coming up for Spotsylvania. It's going to be 3rd and 5 from their own 45. 3:30 to play here in the first quarter. Clock ticking. Our score, Blue Devils 7, Knights nothing. Spotsylvania the home team. Both teams coming in to tonight's game with identical 4-6 records. They met once during the regular season. Spotsylvania a 1-point winner. And of course, all that goes out the window as insignificant when you're into the playoffs because it's win and move on, or as we said, lose and call it a season. Here's Terrell. He's going to have a 1st down as he crossed midfield into Blue Devil territory. So, Steve, right now we're seeing a glimpse of Spotsylvania answering Culpeper's running attack with establishing its own running game here in the first quarter.
Yeah, number 13, you're right, Martin. 13, Nathan Martin had a chance to stop him, but he just missed the tackle, and you're not going to be able to arm tackle these guys. You're going to have to wrap them up and hit them. So now it's, again, Spotsylvania's got a powerful rushing attack too, and this game could be back and forth, running up and down the field.
And it means that each team's defense is going to be out there for prolonged periods. There's Terrell, right tackle, and another good good gain to the Blue Devil 40, it looks like. So he picked up 7 yards, and so Spotsylvania really sort of matching the Blue Devils' efforts with the running game. Right,
and you got big number 75, Grant Hipper, number 50, Cameron Buckman in there, 42, Adam Mifsud, one of the linebacker spots, number 4, Brad Krim is in there. You got Capone Hoffman, the lone safety. Daryl Fitzgerald's on the defensive line as well.
Here's a 2nd and 4. There was a little misdirection. Left tackle breaks a tackle. And here's a running back with good running yardage. That was Brandon Waller. And he got down inside the Blue Devil 30, or right at the 30. Picked up 10 yards and a 1st down.
Nazir McDonald, number 2, was in on the tackle.
A minute 55 to play in this one. Well, this one's gone quickly because both teams sticking to the run.
Another name we haven't really called too much to see, number 20, George Mosley in there on that defensive line. A little undersized, but he's using his quickness.
1st and 10 here. Here's the misdirection, and the quarterback keeps it off tackle. He had a crease. He got through it, and he's a big guy. He finally bring him down at the 10-yard line. That was Capone Hoffman finally wrapping him up. But he picked up 19 yards and a Spotsylvania first down. So the Knights on the move here. They have it at the 10-yard line where it's 1st and goal.
And that's their best athlete, Daquan Carter, Mark, number 14, with the ball. 6 feet, about 190 pounds, strong runner. And he just turned it up and go on that fake, just kind of like it did a 360, and he hit that hole hard.
All right, it's 1st and goal down from the 10. Here is Terrell straight ahead. And he's going to be stopped right at the 5-yard line, maybe the 6. And that was Gabe Fry making the tackle at the 5. It's 2nd and goal from that spot. Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Both teams have had possession once. Culpeper started the game from its own 35, went 65 yards on 13 plays. Javay Colclaw scored on a 3-yard touchdown run. Spotsylvania in the process of answering. They started this drive from their own 29. They have it at the Blue Devil 5-yard line. Here's a reverse handoff. And a great play made by Nazir McDonald on the running back, Brandon Waller, stopped him for a loss, and that's the first time they stopped a running back for a loss on this drive.
Well, it's a good play by Nazir McDonald, Mark, to shoot the gap and get in there on that running back. But again, right now, could this game, if they go back down the field, you don't want to call it a shootout. You want to call it a run out.
A run out, yeah.
Because that's what they're going to be doing, running each up and down the field.
Well, that 4-yard loss makes it 3rd and goal from the 9. Here's the option. Quarterback Daquan Carter going to keep it. It looks like he gets down to the 3, and now you've got a decision to make here. 4th and goal from the 3.
Well, I think with Spotsylvania, it's probably going to, it's the end of the first quarter, Mark, and I think you're going to see Spotsylvania go for it.
All right, we'll find out when we come back after this message. We've played 1 quarter at Spotsylvania High School. It's 7-0 Blue Devils with the Spotsylvania Knights knocking out the door. And when we come back, they'll be looking at 4th and goal from the Blue Devil 3-yard line. Stay tuned.
Not everyone is an HVAC expert. Luckily, with 20 years of experience, Able Heating and Air can answer any and all questions you may have about your system. Peace of mind and knowledge that you made the right choice because they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
What do your clothes say about you? Well, if they were screen printed or embroidered at Triple Image, they can speak volumes. Originality, professionalism, experience. Your clothes can speak volumes with custom printing and embroidery from Triple Image. 829-1050. Battlefield Automotive is proud to continue support of our high school youth and the Culpeper community. Winner of the prestigious Ford President's Award for a record 13 consecutive years. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford offers award-winning service and unprecedented selection of new and used vehicles. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community.
CFC Farm and Home Center, hometown service since 1932. Finding the right outerwear for the job is difficult. Luckily, you'll find Carhartt clothing, Red Wing, and Irish Setter boots. From head to toe, it's easy to outfit with CFC Farm and Home Center. Found in Sons Funeral Chapels has made it their business to provide solutions during difficult times for over a quarter of a century. During that time, they've also made an investment in our youth through football, basketball, softball, baseball, lacrosse, skateboarding, and 4-H, among other projects. Good luck to tonight's teams and do your best. Every lifelong relationship starts with day one. At Virginia Community Bank, we'll talk about how you can bank with us for life. With 40-plus years of experience in Culpeper and beyond, it's our privilege to help clients achieve their goals, short-term, long-term, and everywhere in between. Bank with us anytime. Bank with us for a lifetime.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast from Spotsylvania High School. Here we're beginning the second quarter with Spotsylvania looking at a 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Our score, Blue Devils 7, Knights nothing. That's going to change possibly here in just a moment. And we've got an update for you on the Eastern View game, Steve. They're playing the Patriots of PH of Ashland, and we understand Trey Holmes has already busted loose for how many yards?
135.
In the first quarter?
In the first quarter. Their lead 14-0.
Wow.
It's Patrick Henry Patriots. Now it looks like Spotsylvania's trying to go for it here, Mark, on 4th and 3.
All right.
Goal to goal on the 3. Big here stop for the defense.
Daquan Carter handing off Terrell. Now here's Terrell looking to throw it. Can he find a receiver, or can he get into the end zone? He gets into the end zone. Spotsylvania a point after away from tying this game.
And Mark, what had happened was it looked like Brad Krim and Nazir McDonald collided. It looked like they had him stopped, but they collided, and he just bounced off the tackle. He slipped right between them and was in for a touchdown.
7-6 our score. And Daquan Carter, the holder. For the kicker here, it is Hunter Wheeler. And his kick is up. And good. We're tied up 7-all. Well, Spotsylvania, Steve, started this drive from its own 29-yard line and moved it down to the Blue Devil 10. We're able to punch it in 3 plays later on a 3-yard run by Malachi Terrell. And they did it exclusively with the run. It sounds exactly like the mirror image of what the Blue Devils had done on their possession.
Well, like I said, Mark, this is going to be an up-and-down game with the running and rushing attacks of both teams are very strong. And on that play, Terrell looked like he was going to throw the football, and that kind of froze Culpeper's defenders for a little bit. And then when he saw the crease, he had 2 Culpeper defenders, Brad Krim and Nazir McDonald, collide, and he was able to slip right through for the night touchdown. But again, Spotsylvania had to do what they had to do. They had to answer the Culpeper score. Now the ball's back, and it's back in Culpeper's court, Culpeper's field, so to speak. And now let's see what they can do offensively, chew up clock, and come down and answer the score.
All right. Well, this broadcast is made possible by Found & Sons, investing in youth at all levels to help make tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons at 825-3530. Opening minute here, the second quarter. We're tied up 7-all here in round 1 of the 3A Region B playoffs. And here's the kickoff. They keep it on the ground. Oh, it's line drive caught at the 30 by Capone Hoffman. Got out to the 40. So actually that was number 2, Nazir McDonald. And Steve, Blue Devils will have excellent field position on their second possession here.
They do, Mark. And again, I still just don't understand why high school teams want to give teams good field position on a kickoff. I know they're afraid of kicking it to the deep man and running with a big return. But you know what? If you kick it in the end zone, it's going to come out to the 20.
Yeah.
And you'd rather have the team start from the 20 than than starting on the looks like Culpeper is going to start on 42-yard line. Spotsylvania, great field position for the Blue Devils.
Really is. And Javay Colclaw and company take back cover for the Blue Devils after a very impressive opening drive. They witnessed Spotsylvania coming back. Blake Polari gets the carry. He got to the 45-yard line. A pick of 3 yards will bring up 2nd and 7.
And Culpeper's offense doesn't look like it looks like it's a full house backfield, but it doesn't look like a wing tee or single wing. It's kind of like a hybrid. It looks like a hybrid flex bone or wishbone offense.
Or would you say it's sort of a modified wildcat with Javay Colclaw back there taking the direct snap?
True, and or wildcat option, offense.
But it is certainly a new look, or a different look compared to what Blue Devils started with this season. Here's Colclaw picking his way for yardage and doing a nice job. He may be about a yard shy of a Blue Devil first down.
And, Eric Wilson got hurt with his shoulder in the second game of the season. And you think, but I heard that he's healthy, but they're just having so much success with Colclaw. But I think you could bring in Eric Wilson, but I don't even think he's suited up. You got to bring him in for an option to throw the football.
Looks like there's an official timeout to measure this one, and I think he's going to be about a foot short. But we'll see. Colclaw on the carry got into Spotsylvania territory at the 48. Well, this broadcast is made possible by Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. Battlefield Automotive at 547-3673. That's about a half a foot short, isn't it, Steve?
Yep.
It'll be 3rd and less than a yard. 10:48 to play, second quarter at Spotsylvania High School. The Knights and the Blue Devils tied up 7-7. The Blue Devils now looking at a 3rd and less than a yard to go for a first down as they cross the Spotsylvania side of midfield. Looks like Spotsylvania's loaded the box, and they hand it off to Fry, and they meet him in the backfield at the 50-yard line. He'll lose 2 yards. That was his first carry of the night, and it came up on the negative side of things.
Yeah, well, see, Gabe, he's a great runner, Mark. He's a good, powerful runner, but he doesn't have the quick first step that Colclaw has or really Noah Staten. So they're trying to use some power to get in there, but now it brings up
4th and 2.
Fourth and 2.
And Gabe Fry's the punter. He's not on the field, so they're going to line up to go for it. Unless it's going to be a long snap count trying to draw the Spotsylvania defense off sides. Javea Colclaw on 4th down. He's going to keep it. Colclaw will have a first down and then some as he got inside the Spotsylvania 40-yard line.
And you see the difference right there?
Yeah.
The first step.
Yeah.
Gabe is a good, when he gets his speed going, he's a great downhill runner. But he doesn't have the first step that Colclaw had. And that's what got the first down right there for the Blue Devils.
Steve, I want to say a couple things. One, you're exactly right. And two, the Blue Devils didn't even give a second thought to what they're going to do. They're going to go for it definitely, and they're going to definitely go to Colclaw.
Well, they know they can control the line of scrimmage, Mark. They're bigger than Spotsylvania's defensive front. So they've got the power up there to run it, and they just got to keep doing what they're doing.
Fry back in the backfield along with Colclaw. And they give it to him. This time he picks up some yardage as he got inside the Spotsylvania 35-yard line. So, they're going to want to give Fry a few reps as well.
All right, he's a good, powerful runner right there. And he showed a quicker first step than he did on that first down. I think he was a little bit, I don't know, I think he got motivated, for lack of a better word.
Well, he picked
After
up
he didn't make that first down,
Yeah.
he said, I'm going to run a little harder next time.
Yeah, okay, so he picked up 5 yards that time. Brings up 2nd and 5. Blue Devils from the Knights' 34-yard line. 9:05 to play here in the second quarter. We're tied up 7-all. Javea Colclaw back there along with Noah Staten on his left. And Noah Staten gets the call. Great opening there as the offensive line did a nice job. And coming up and making a sure tackle was number 14, Daquan Carter. And Carter likely saved a bundle of yards there.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit short, Mark. Maybe about a yard, maybe a yard and a half short of the first down. But
yeah, the line of script was at 39 when they started this new set of downs. So they have to get to the 29 for a first down. So it's actually a 3rd and about a yard here. And you know what? You almost get to the point where you would predict Colclaw in a situation like this.
Yep.
But I could be wrong. Adam Missett is in the backfield. Colclaw, the ball carrier. There he goes, and he picks up first down yardage and more as he got inside the 20-yard line before they finally brought him down. In the tackle was Wyatt Bryan and company. Colclaw proving himself to be a hard man to bring down without some gang tackling on him.
And Mark, Javea played the first 2 years at Eastern View and hardly saw the time on the playing field, and then they moved and he transferred into Culpeper because he moved. And now look how he's the star player on the Blue Devils team. And that shows, he's a good football player, but look how good Eastern View is.
Well, and it was 3rd and 1, and Colclaw picked up 11 on that in the first down. Here's the pitch. This is Noah Staten. And Noah Staten held to about a yard gain on the play. Another good tackle by Daquan Carter out there for Spotsylvania.
And, we're talking about, this is a playoff game, Mark. We're talking about, this is Class 3, Region B. And, probably of all the regions, this is the weakest region, I would think, compared to others. But the number one overall, Class 3, number 1 seed is Stanton River. And where is Stanton River? I know it's down
They
there.
are in Moneta, of Bedford County.
Okay. I knew it was kind of towards near Alta Vista, down that way.
It's closer to Roanoke.
Okay.
Yeah. But Stanton River, what a fun. Here's Colclaw lowering his shoulder, and he is just a tough guy to bring down, still on his feet. And they finally wrestle him down inside the 9-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Blue Devils. Come back to the huddle and resume things. That's where things will best be resolved.
Exchanging pleasantries down there. How you doing?
Well,
how you
no,
doing?
they were asking each other about their Thanksgiving plans.
Yeah, how you doing? How you doing?
All right. Well, they
Big
have
doings down here. Are you doing
Big
good?
doings. 1st and goal now. Blue Devils from the 8-yard line.
What, third?
And we're approaching the midway mark of the second quarter, and it sounds very similar to what we had in the first quarter where the Blue Devils had that opening drive. They burned half the first quarter clock nearly.
Yeah.
They're measuring this one for a first down. You talk about Stanton River, Steve. They have one of the fine football teams in the state. At the 3A level, I can see them winning the whole thing.
Yeah, they're the favorite. That's what I've, from what I understand, in Class 3. But you also got Class 3, Lakeland down there, number 1 seed down that way is Phoebus at 10-0. I think you're going to see Phoebus and Stanton River.
Whoa, that would be a game to see, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Third and goal here from the 9-yard line was about a yard shy of that first down. And I'd be thinking Javea Coleclaw. I think Spotsylvania is thinking about him too. They fake it, and they give it to Noah Staten, and Noah Staten driving down close to the goal line.
And just carrying people.
And that's exactly what Coleclaw has been doing. He's been
Right.
carrying defenders with him, and Noah Staten did the same thing. What about that play fake there in the backfield, Steve? I think it created an opening.
It created an opening, and see now, it used to be illegal where, if you're a running back, you couldn't get a push from behind by another running back or your offensive line, in the pile. But now that rule's gone away. You can push that pile. So if the running back's being held up and still got his feet moving, people come from behind and push him forward. And
But now you got a first and goal now from the 1-yard line. Javea Coleclaw, Noah Staten back there. And loaded it up in the backfield. Noah Staten gets the call, and he's in from 1 yard out.
1 yard out, Noah Staten. It's a touchdown, Blue Devils. Noah Staten from 1 yard out answers the score, Mark.
13-7 our score with 5:40 to play here in the second quarter, and Gabriel Barros will come on for the point after with Capone Hoffman, the holder.
And this is where I think in this type of game, extra points are very vitally important, Mark.
No doubt about it. Well, you look at the previous meeting between these two teams this season, and it was a 1-point game, so every point is critical, and the kick is up and good. It's 14-7. And again, now this is a situation where now the Blue Devils win exclusively with the run, but they started out with outstanding field position from their own 42-yard line, and I've got them with 14 plays on the drive and 58 yards, and it was capped by a 1-yard run by Noah Staten. So both teams showing that they can run the ball and keep possession and keep the opposing defense on the field. So I guess it's sort of the question becomes, Steve, which defense is going to make the sort of adjustments to try to stop the other team's offense?
That's a good question, because now you got to implore both defensive coordinators, both for the Blue Devils and the Knights, have got to come up with a stop and how to stop each team's attack. And Culpeper had chances. They had some 3rd and 5s and 3rd and 6s, and let Spotsylvania convert in their first offensive possession, and vice versa. And Spotsylvania had a chance to stop Culpeper even on the 4th down, and Culpeper converted. So this is not, you want to say shootout or track meet. This is the slow version of the track meet.
Yeah.
Just run up down the field and tell each offense, hey, you're daring your defense to stop us.
Well, so my concern, if I'm a defensive coordinator, is your defense being out there for a prolonged period each time.
Yeah, it is. And this is where conditioning level is going to come into play. Even though it's a cold night, a little bit different playing conditions than being a hot, humid night when they played earlier.
Inside the 20-yard line is Tayshawn Tyler returning it, and the Blue Devil special team does a good job of stopping him before he can get going, and that was number 7, Lewis Chapman, number 4, Brad Krim, and a couple others in on the tackle for Culpeper. So average field position here for Spotsylvania as they try to answer the Blue Devil touchdown.
And it's going to be there's a penalty on the field, Mark, and it looks like it's going to be against Spotsylvania. Could be a legal block in the back, right from the spot, and it is. They're asking does Culpeper want to decline it, and we'll see what the call is right here.
Here it comes.
Block in the back.
You called it.
Yep.
So they'll mark it off here. So rather than having the ball at the 26-yard line, they're going to mark it off, and Spotsylvania, on its second possession, will be starting it from their own 16.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would Culpeper decline it? Yeah, they'd want to accept that penalty.
So here's Spotsylvania trailing 14-7, 5:33 to play in the second quarter. Offense back in the field for the second time. They're going to start from its own 16. Malachi, the ball carrier. And good pursuit by the Blue Devils. He tried to get away but couldn't. And they stop him at near the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit that time by the Blue Devil defenders, Steve.
It was, Mark, but I'm going to be a little bit critical here. Back in the day, if you're going to play old school football like these two teams are doing, when you go to tackle, you got to wrap your arms around it. You can't just go and deliver a blow and hope the running back's going to go down. And I see that more and more in high school football where these kids are not wrapping up or trying to one-arm tackle. I mean, he squeezed through for a couple extra yards right there because kids failed to wrap him up.
And it got back to the line of scrimmage when it was all said and done. Here's Daquan Carter straight ahead. He picks up he fumbles the ball. It's loose, and the Blue Devils have recovered it. It's number 3, Armani Hoffman.
Yep,
There's the first turnover of the game, Steve. And Blue Devils, this gives them an advantage early on here in this one.
And this is sort of like, Mark, if this football game, can you use a tennis analogy? Now they've got the advantage. They're add up, so to speak,
Add Culpepper,
Yep.
right?
Because of the first turnover. If they can go up here and score, that puts them up 2 scores, and that can really help for the Blue Devils. So right now it's been a deuce game, but now advantage Culpepper.
Yeah, exactly. Because really the Blue Devils, even though they had a 7-point advantage, Spotsylvania, it was actually their turn to answer.
Right.
And instead, they turned the ball over on the fumble, and now the Blue Devils have an excellent opportunity. 1st and 10 from Spotsylvania's 24-yard line. Javay Kokal handing off Noah Staten over the right side. Short pickup this time to get down to about the 22, and that's about it. 4:34 to play here, and clock ticking in the second quarter. This broadcast brought to you is made possible by CFC Farm and Home Center, hometown service since 1932. From head to toe, it's easy to outfit with CFC Farm and Home Center at 825-2200.
And that's Gabe Fry back in there. Looks like Adam Misfit and went out along with Jaden Brown.
And we got a 2nd down and 9 here. Here is Gabe Fry, the ball carrier. Wow. Came off of that right tackle with a surge. Got inside right at the 15, rather. He picked up 7 yards. This is going to bring up a 3rd and short situation for the Blue Devils.
Do you think Coach Wakefield had a little conversation with Gabe Fry? Because he's running a little bit harder now than he was.
Didn't like the looks of that first carry. Go out there and do what you know you can do, and he's done it since then.
I think he got a little we got
a holding, and you know what? That's the one that really stings you when you're on offense, because the way the Blue Devils are moving the football, that one sets them back, and they move it back to the 29-yard line.
And see, that's been the Achilles heel of the Blue Devils all season long, is they get good drives going, and then they shoot themselves in the foot with a costly penalty or turnover at the most inopportune time. But I think it's important here that they've got to score.
In some manner, don't they?
Yep.
There's Coleclaw keeping it all the way. Gets the edge, picks up yardage, gets a lot of that lost yardage off the penalty, and he got inside the 15-yard line.
And it's going to be holding against Culpepper again, back to back.
Oh,
and
wow.
from the spot right there, and that's going to be, looks like it's going to be holding on, it looked like Noah Staten probably held right there on that, as Javay Kokal came around the corner.
And Steve, back-to-back penalties for holding like that is the kind of thing that will give a coach gray hair.
It does, and see, they were in the driver's seat, and now you got 2 penalties for holding. And you know you can move the football, so now it's going to be, instead of 2nd and 14, it's going to be 2nd and 24.
Now they move it all the way back to the 39-yard line. So the Blue Devils moving in reverse right here.
Yep, it's going to be.
So Javay Kokal, they may have to revise the play calling here from going run exclusively, and they are going to pass. Kokal airs it out. You're looking for Capone Hoffman. He's got it inside the 10, and then he drops it. An incomplete pass, and he had that one. That was his to bring in, Steve.
It was. He had it right there in his hand, but Mark, he dropped it as soon as he hit the ground, and that would have been a first down play for the Blue Devils. So now it brings up 3rd and 24
from the 39-yard line. So here with a third down situation and a very long, Steve, and you have the ball at the 39-yard line, do you think this is a two-play situation, or do you punt after the third down?
Well, I think because the way Spotsylvania's offense is running, I think you punt and pin them way back.
And play
Because
field
look
position.
at the field position.
Yeah.
Don't give them an advantage with 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
3rd and 24. Here comes the pressure. Colt Claw tries to run away from it. He got away from a couple defenders. He's still on his feet, spinning his way. And he picked up pretty good yardage. Got inside the 30-yard line. He'll be short of a first down by about 14 yards. It'll be 4th down from the 30-yard line.
And now you have a decision to make because the punting really here is not going to do any good because you'll punt it into the end zone. They're going to come out the 20. So
And
you
if
only, you only get a 10-yard gain. So you got to go for it here.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, if you had Mike Greenaway on your team, you
Yep.
might try a 47-yard field goal here.
Yeah, but we don't have that, so that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So you got to go for it here because of the net yards you would gain by a punt, which would be just 10.
All right, so, it's like 3rd and 16 here from the 30. Oh, we got movement top of your screen. It's going to cost the Blue Devils 5 yards.
See, again,
Yeah.
This is what lack of concentration right now is, and that was jumped on Nazir McDonald.
Yep.
He jumped from the wide receiver position. Now it's going to back him up 5 more yards.
Push it back to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 21.
Now, you can really make a decision again. Do you want 4th down now?
Mm-hmm.
Replay 4th down, 4th and 16.
Yeah, that didn't change.
No.
But anyway, so on this 4th and long, I don't think they punted here, but we'll see what happens.
If you had a good pooch punter, could put it in the corner, and have it go out around the 5-yard line. But
Let's see the play call coming up here on 4th and long. They're lining up, they got something in mind here. They fake it to Polari. There's a throw out there to Nazir McDonald. McDonald picks up yardage. He's going to be short of a first down, but not a bad play call there, and they're going to turn it over on down. So the Blue Devils missed an opportunity, Steve. They had the fumble at the Spotsylvania 24, unable to capitalize on it with any points whatsoever.
big, and they were moving the football, Mark, and all that was, the big thing was, it was right there with 2 costly holding penalties back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's been the Achilles heel for the Blue Devils all season long. It's been the holding, and now they've got to, get a defensive stop here. If 2 minutes to go here in the first half, they can't let Spotsylvania come down and drive the length of the field, almost the length of the field, and score.
2:02 to play. Here is Terrell. Terrell runs into a host of white jerseys there. They do a nice job of containing him, and they'll stop him near the line of scrimmage. Clock running, 1:52 to play. Now they stop it.
Timeout, Spotsylvania.
This broadcast is made possible by Virginia Community Bank. Your bank of tomorrow and every day after. Virginia Community Bank. Banking for life at 829-6034. Mark O'Connell, Steve Peacock, Jeff Stanfield with you tonight from Spotsylvania High School. Here on behalf of the Culpeper Media Network, bringing you all the exciting action of the playoffs. This is round 1 of the 3A Region B playoffs. And the winner will move on, and the loser called this season. Both teams came in tonight with identical records of 4-6, played each other once during the regular season, and it was a close game. We expected a close one here tonight, and it's 14-7, and both teams have shown an ability to run the football against the opposition.
And both teams finished tied identical records, 4-6, tied in power points, but they went to head-to-head contest in Spotsylvania. That's why Spotsylvania's playing at home.
Oh, what a nice play in the backfield there. They capture Brandon Waller for a loss. Back to the 20-yard line. The tackle made by number 75, Grant Hibbert. We got a timeout taken by Culpeper with 1:38 to play. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll come back when the action resumes. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back after the timeout. Spotsylvania looking at a 3rd and 13 from the 20-yard line. Oh, bad snap in the backfield. And Daquan Carter will have to jump on this one. They'll have it inside the 10-yard line. A huge loss on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down. So, the Blue Devils, after that timeout, that was a wise timeout. Now they're going to be facing, or actually the Blue Devils giving their punt return team an opportunity here unless they go for the block, because Spotsylvania will have to kick this one away deep in its own territory. The Blue Devils, Steve, 1:32 to play here in the second quarter, will have some time, at least theoretically, to work its offense before the end of the first half.
Well, first thing I would do if I was a special teams coach, I'm coming after this punt. It's deep in their own territory. Try to force them into the mistake. Don't get roughing the punter, but come after it. And then who's deep is Capone Hoffman. If he can get a chance to run it back and put Culver in good starting territory, we'll see what happens. But if I were the Blue Devils, I'd be coming after this punt and sending the house.
He lost 11 yards on that bad snap, and it makes it 4th and forever from the 9-yard line. Like you say, Capone Hoffman back there. Do they bring the pressure and try to block this one, or do they try to set up the return? Here's the punt coming in. Here comes the pressure. I think they got a piece of it, or it's a short kick. They got awfully close to it. It's going to go back out of bounds, shy of the 30-yard line. So, Steve, Blue Devil offense comes back out. A very short field to work with, less than 30 yards and 1:25 to play. They've got a chance here with good time or clock management to try to punch it in before this first half.
Well, they have
expires.
one timeout left, and they can use that, and or no, 2 timeouts left. They can use those, and they got their running attack, and they can mix it up with the pass. But I would sit here and stick with your bread and butter right here and see how many yards you get on the run.
And do not commit holding penalties, right?
No holding.
1st and 10 Blue Devils from the Knights 30. Oh, and this is a fumble. The ball was, they were trying to get to Noah State. The ball is still loose. And it looks like Spotsylvania has recovered it.
Culpepper can't stand prosperity, Mark. I can tell you.
Well, they tried to hand it off to Noah State, and he never got the handle on it.
No, he never did. He never didn't stick it in there. And now Spotsy's going to have the ball back on the minute 18. How things, fortunes change in a matter of a snap. But again.
And Steve, twice now here in the second quarter, the Blue Devils have lost opportunities.
Right, and then that could come back to haunt them here later in the game. Now each team has got a turnover.
Spotsylvania will have it on its own 34 here with 1:18 to play. This is Carter rolling to his right. Here's the option to Terrell, and he's got nowhere to go. Gabe Fry, Capone Hoffman, and Nathan Martin will make that Armani Hoffman wrap him up for the tackle, and he'll lose 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 14. The clock runs 50, and they stop it now as Spotsylvania calls a timeout with 56.6 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. Well, this broadcast is made possible by Able Heating and Air. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. So, late here in the second quarter, Blue Devils up 14-7 over the Spotsylvania Knights. Spotsylvania called a timeout here. And, Steve, we just mentioned that the Blue Devils squandered a couple opportunities. And if you're the Blue Devil fans and team, you're going to have to hope that those missed opportunities don't come back and bite you late in the game tonight.
Yeah, you hope. You hope, and you just got to tell your kids to regroup. Come on, it's a mistake. But again, it's just concentration too, and you got to concentrate. You can't make mistakes against teams in playoff football. If you do, they're going to come, but you're going to pay for them.
After the timeout, Spotsylvania has it 2nd down and 14. Carter throwing. This one picked off. Gabe Fry has it. And Gabe Fry is going to go to the house.
And there's no laundry on the field, and it's a touchdown, Blue Devils. With 47 seconds to go, Gabe Fry and the interception. Mark, we got to go to replay on that one.
Absolutely.
Look right here with the pass play by DeQuan Carter. Spotsylvania rolling out to throw the football here, less than a minute to go to move the ball upfield. And the receiver, tipped it, and Gabe Fry tipped it really right to himself and then ran untouched into the end zone. Big play for the Blue Devils.
Big play, because we talked about a couple of missed opportunities, and then the Blue Devils create one there and score late here in the second quarter, courtesy of its defense. 20-7 our score, 47 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Timeout on the field. This one taken by the Blue Devils. 20-7 our score.
And Mark, I was just looking at the scoreboard. Culpeper was trailing Spotsylvania 21-7 at half in the game down here earlier in the season, and they, Culpeper came back, stormed back, but lost last play of the game where they couldn't convert a 2-point conversion. Now it's on the opposite. It's now Spotsylvania trailing by 20-7 here at halftime.
And do you think what do you think the basis for the Blue Devil timeout there was on the special teams play? Are they thinking you go for two?
No,
I wouldn't think that you would.
I wouldn't think I think they couldn't get the right personnel in because the holder and I think they had an issue with the right personnel in there and they ended up calling timeout. But now it looks like they might be going for two. No, they're going.
Yeah, because Gabriel Barros is still in there, and Capone Hoffman is going to set the spot to hold it at the 10-yard line off the snap when it comes, and Barros will try to tack on the extra point to make it a 14-point lead for the Blue Devils. There's the snap and the hold and the kick. And the kick is up and good. It's 21-7 in favor of the Blue Devils. So that was a turn of events that really helped Culpeper's cause there, because we've mentioned several times here that the Blue Devils squandered a couple of opportunities, and we were thinking that, in an anticipated closely played football game tonight, that a couple of missed opportunities could be the difference late in the game. And so then they get a big lift a moment ago, and Gabe Fry makes the interception. And you know what, Steve, when I looked at that play and how it was unfolding, I thought Gabe Fry was with it all the way. He made the initial hit, and I thought made the ball go up into the air where he stayed right with it. And it was good concentration on Gabe Fry's part.
Very good concentration because he was able to snag that football out of the air and run it in untouched into the end zone. And again, Mark, what I've said earlier, and I'll say it again, turnovers and penalties kill you in playoff football. And right now, Culpeper is leading in that, in the turnover margin because Spotsylvania has now committed 2 turnovers at, fumble and the interception, where Culpeper's only committed 1 turnover on the fumble, but Culpeper's got some work with the penalty situation.
Because you mentioned those back-to-back holding ones. Those were the ones that really hurt them in that one drive. This kick sends a return man back inside the 10-yard line, and that was number 3, Tyshawn Tyler. And he got across the 25-yard line, and that's where the Spotsylvania Knights will set up with 40 seconds to play here in the second quarter, and they trail 21-7.
And Mark, and I like that kickoff. You don't kick it squib, you kicked it deep, and you give your defense a little bit of break and say, hey, look, keep them deep in their own territory. You got 40 seconds to go here in the first half. You're telling your defense, don't let anybody get behind you.
And the deep man for the Blue Devil in the secondary there is Capone Hoffman, Spotsylvania. Here is Daquan Carter, rolls to his right, incomplete. And the pass was intended for Tyshawn Tyler. 2nd down and 10, stops the clock with the incomplete pass. We have 36.2 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock to play here in the second quarter. When we come back for the start of the second half, Spotsylvania will receive the kickoff.
Right. And Mark, this is the coldest game we've done all season long. And it went from like spring, like summer, like to
I know, last
winter.
Friday. Yeah, what a difference a week makes, right? And they hand this one straight ahead with some motion there in the backfield to try to keep the Blue Devils guessing. But the Blue Devils stayed home to stop the ball carrier for a short gain. They mark it at the 30-yard line, and the clock is stopped with 26.8 seconds. I believe Spotsylvania called its last timeout. So what do you think the excuse me, Steve. What do you think? I think I stepped over your foot. What do you think the coldest game we've ever broadcast is? I know I have an idea.
I know. I think we're on the same page. I want to go back to the playoff game against Thomas McClellan and Stafford, when that game where wind chill was like about in the single digits, and it was like 28 degrees and wind blowing about 15 to 25 miles an hour.
May have been. I wasn't really going back that far. I was going back about 3 years ago when Eastern View played Jefferson Forest.
Right. That was
Remember
down
how
the
cold
playoff.
that was?
That was a very cold game too.
Yeah.
But I still think the coldest was that McClellan led. That's when we beat our first win. We beat with Colonial Forge, and then we had to face Stafford.
Right.
And that was, I remember how cold that game was as well.
What a great year for Stafford that was, because the Stafford Indians really had one of the best years ever. They got down to the finals and lost to Phoebus that year. Here's Daquan Carter, and he tosses it to a receiver out of the backfield. Looked like a Blue Devil was pretty close in position to intercept that one.
I thought Brad Grimm was going to step right in there and take it the other way, but now it looks like Spotsylvania is going to be content to let the clock run out here.
Yeah, the final 5 seconds are ticking off now, and looks like this is the way the two teams are going to end things here in the first half. There's the sound that signals the end of the first half. Here at Spotsylvania High School, as the two teams go to the locker room for intermission, the Blue Devils lead by 14, 21-7. We'll take a break and come back for the third quarter kickoff. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
Not everyone is an HVAC expert. Luckily, with 20 years of experience, Able Heating and Air can answer any and all questions you may have about your system. Peace of mind and knowledge that you made the right choice, because they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
What do your clothes say about you? Well, if they were screen printed or embroidered at Triple Image, they can speak volumes. Originality, professionalism, experience. Your clothes can speak volumes with custom printing and embroidery from Triple Image. 829-1050. Battlefield Automotive is proud to continue support of our high school youth and the Culpeper community. Winner of the prestigious Ford President's Award for a record 13 consecutive years. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford offers award-winning service and unprecedented selection of new and used vehicles. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community.
CFC Farm and Home Center, hometown service since 1932. Finding the right outerwear for the job is difficult. Luckily, you'll find Carhartt clothing, Red Wing, and Irish Setter boots. From head to toe, it's easy to outfit with CFC Farm and Home Center. Found in Sons Funeral Chapels has made it their business to provide solutions during difficult times for over a quarter of a century. During that time, they've also made an investment in our youth through football, basketball, softball, baseball, lacrosse, skateboarding, and 4-H, among other projects. Good luck to tonight's teams, and do your best. Every lifelong relationship starts with day one. At Virginia Community Bank, we'll talk about how you can bank with us for life. With 40-plus years of experience in Culpeper and beyond, it's our privilege to help clients achieve their goals, short-term, long-term, and everywhere in between. Bank with us anytime. Bank with us for a lifetime.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast and our first half report here. Mark O'Connell, joined by Chris Capella. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Always great to see you. And what do you think so far about this first half between Spotsylvania and Culpeper?
Well, first, Mark, thanks so much for having me. What a great time of the year it is. We're here to play football. So, of course, 21-7 here in the first round of the playoffs games. Culpeper's rushing offense, kind of predictably, doing a pretty solid job. We took a look at some of the numbers throughout the season. The Spotsylvania team has given up about 200 yards rushing on average every game this year. So we knew Culpeper wanted to run the football. Javay Kolkloff's averaging about 8 yards a clip right now. He's running really, really steady. Culpeper's defense has done a great job outside of that first drive. They're swallowing down everything. I think Spotsylvania's going to have to try and bust a big play here early in the second half.
They'll get the ball to start the third quarter. Do you think that the Blue Devils, and it sounds like you sort of alluded to the fact that they did, made a little bit better adjustment in the first half after that opening Spotsylvania drive?
Yeah, and I think the front seven, or in some cases 8 or 9, has just done a better job since that opening drive. They're getting off their blocks. We saw some Spotsylvania runners, they were running for 7 or 8 yards a carry. Culpeper stayed disciplined. Spotsylvania tried to run the option. They ran a couple reverse plays, and there was more discipline from the defense. I think that was the bigger difference. They were always stacking the box, but perhaps it's that discipline, and they're just playing a little tougher on the defensive end right now.
And when you look at the Blue Devil performance in that first half, I would say it was very good, minus a couple of back-to-back holding penalties that hurt them, and then that one fumble. But other than that, the offense, I thought, looked really good. Now, they're pretty predictable. You feel like they're going to run the ball 90-some% of the time. But if it's working for you, then what can you say, right?
Absolutely, and what a great play by Gabe Fry. After Culpepper's offense, like you said, squandered back-to-back possessions with great field position. They went backwards because of penalties on one drive, then they fumbled the next drive, and that's a game-changing play right there because if Spotsylvania can get this into half, just down a touchdown, getting the ball to open the half, that's a huge difference. Instead, Fry just reads this play in the flat, makes a play on the ball, just an athletic play, and takes it to the house. Game-changing play. So the defense really picking up the slack for the offense there. But I do agree with you. I think Culpepper's offense, for the most part, has looked pretty solid. They're running the ball well when there hasn't been a penalty. And, of course, we had the fumble, which is something that they've got to clean up, and that's been a problem the past couple games now. But I think overall they look sharp.
Well, let's talk about both of our Culpeper schools. So obviously tonight we're covering the Culpeper County versus Spotsylvania game. And Chris, we were talking about this earlier. If the Blue Devils hold on tonight and win, this would be their first playoff win since 2002. That's a 15-year drought. How huge that would be for the program and Coach Wakefield here in his 5th season to actually lead a team to a playoff win for the first time in 15 years.
I mean, that would be great for this program. They've kind of been building towards it. I know it's been maybe a little bit slower of a climb than people would have liked, but when you look at what Wakefield inherited, and this was when the school split, Culpeper really, they were struggling a little bit before the school split, but the school split and they really struggled. You could just take a look at their record between the two previous coaches before Coach Ken Wakefield got here. So they're steadily climbing. They're getting a few more wins every season, and if they could win a playoff game, they have half of football to do it. But if they could, that'd be great for the program. And this is a wide open region too. So who's to say that if they win tonight, maybe they can continue playing some football.
Yeah, you never know. It looks pretty good on the horizon for the Blue Devils if they win tonight. And of course, their crosstown rival Eastern View, what a great season they've had. Eastern View's in action tonight at home as a host in the first round to Patrick Henry of Ashland, and I think they were having their way with them in the first half. And I wonder if it's some sort of record. Steve and I have talked about this. If someone at the Virginia High School League is keeping a record of this, I feel like someone has. But we talked about this. Eastern View 10-0 in the regular season, and all 10 of those games witnessed a second half mercy rule, continuously running clock.
Yeah.
And we wonder if that's some sort of record.
Well, I actually did a little crowdsourcing for that this week. I was actually looking more for point differential, but there were a couple teams who were in a similar situation. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're not the first, but they're in rare territory when you look at their point differential.
Elite group there with what the Cyclones have been able to accomplish. Chris, thanks for joining us as always, and Steve will come back in as we get ready to start the second half with the Blue Devils up 21-7 over the host Spotsylvania Knights.
Have a great second half, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Chris. Always a pleasure to have you. And I'll tell you, Steve Peacock, I think Chris Capella pretty much matches you in the prognostication field. I tell you, I don't think he's missed many games this year. And here's the kickoff to start the third quarter. This one's going to be picked up by Tyshawn Tyler.
As I want to say, the grasshopper learns well.
Grasshopper. Grasshopper. But, so the Blue Devils in good position here. I personally think as we analyze this game, Steve, I'll see if you agree with me, is that this is a critical opening possession here in the third quarter for Spotsylvania and for the Blue Devil defense, because I think that if the Blue Devil defense steps up here and stops Spotsylvania without sustaining a long drive and gives the ball back to their offense, they can take control of this thing, because it wouldn't be long before the clock would become an ally to the Blue Devils.
That's true, Mark. You're absolutely correct. And, and like I said, like Chris said earlier, this region is wide open in the playoff picture. And got an updated score. Louise it's got a game. Cortland's leading. Louise at 13-7 at the half.
That is huge. Yeah. But Cortland is a team that played well of late, but don't they sort of have that tradition of starting slow and finishing strong?
Yeah, they do. They do. And so,
how huge would that be, Steve, if Cortland were to get the win over Louisiana?
It'd be big, huge for Eastern View, because Eastern View, that would get Eastern View away from Dinwiddie next week, and Eastern View's leading 28-6, and they would probably go to the winner of the Monacan Midlothian game. And then Cortland would go to Dinwiddie.
And that would take a little bit of a load off Eastern View, at least theoretically there, because Dinwiddie, the number 1 seed, we know about how they're a very, very fine football team. But if Cortland were to beat Louisa, that changes things in the playoff picture. We've got some
Official timeout. I don't know what the
confusion on the field trying to sort this one out. So that's what they're saying, is that the down marker's broken, and they're looking for a spare.
And they're just going to have an official stand it over there and just basically.
The official becomes the down marker.
Becomes the down marker.
That's an interesting thing. I don't know that I've ever witnessed that before. It's probably not unprecedented, but here's a fumble by Daquan Carter. That's the second one tonight, and it cost him a slew of yards. They were already backed up to their 15-yard line. It's going to push them back deeper into their own territory there. Looks like it's going to be marked right at the 8. So he lost 7 yards, brings up a 2nd and 17 here. Interesting situation we mentioned a moment ago with the down marker being broken.
But they can use a scoreboard mark if they need to. So, I mean, it's probably frozen. It's so cold out there.
I think the players sort of need the marker to sort of gauge where they are and that sort of thing. But in any event, it's 2nd and 17 for Spotsylvania from its own 8-yard line here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Daquan Carter back there. They hike it to Terrell, and then he tries to hand it off to Carter, and he fumbled it, picked it up. And a little confusion there, it looked like, in the backfield. And Carter gets it out to the 10-yard line. That's it. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 15. And this is an opportunity. I know it sounds like we say that all the time, but this is an opportunity for the Blue Devil defense, Steve. They have Spotsylvania facing a 3rd and 15 from its own 10-yard line here in the third quarter. This could be a sort of tempo setter for the Blue Devils if they can come up big here for it.
Absolutely, Mark, and they need it right here. 3rd and 16. Just don't let Spotsylvania just get a first down.
Here's Malaki Terrell, and a great tackle out there made by Brad Krim. Good solo tackle. Krim steps up for the Blue Devil defense. It's going to force a punting situation, and Spotsylvania will be punting deep in its own territory. Capone Hoffman, the lone safety back for the Blue Devils, stands near his own 40-yard line, and barring a miscue, the Blue Devils should have excellent field position when its offense comes onto the field for the first time in the third quarter after this punt.
And Mark, one play we haven't seen from Culpeper, you might be heard, is Lewis Chapman, number 7. He's usually been big on defense. I have not seen him in there all game.
Short kick. They kick it away from Hoffman. It takes a pretty good Spotsylvania roll. Hoffman fields it inside the 40-yard line. A nice tackle made by Malaki Terrell.
And, it looked like Hoffman was going to get away from him, but it was a good tackle by Terrell.
Really good job by the punter there. It looked like a low kick and not a very long kick, but it took a very good Spotsylvania roll, and Hoffman backed up to field it, and a good the punt team for Spotsylvania did a great job of making a quick tackle on Hoffman. And so Culpeper will have average field position here at the 32-yard line. And here is the snap to Coleclaw, and this time they hold him to a nominal pickup of perhaps 1 yard.
And again, what Culpeper's going to do, Mark, is chew up clock, run the football. You know, Spotsylvania's made adjustments against Coleclaw running in the second half. It looks like they moved a guy over in there. Now here comes Lewis Chapman, number 7. First time I've seen him in all game. And but what's happening is what's Spotsylvania has just moved over a little bit into the gap. So Culpeper's going to have to make the adjustment on offense and maybe go to a little bit of play action pass to keep this defense honest, because look how they're loading up that box.
Yeah, good point. 2nd and 9 here. Here's Coleclaw rolling to his right. Going to keep it. Got a good block. Yeah, they had a crease he ran through. Got across the 45-yard line. Picked up a Blue Devil first down. And the tackle made by number 32, Ian Sariki.
And that was a good play call, Mark, to run it on the outside, because they stacked the box and they're looking for Coleclaw to come in there and run up the middle. So if Spotsylvania's going to stack the box, what do? You tack the outside.
I really like the the opening there on that right side of that offensive line.
But see, look how that defense is all in that box.
Yeah, here they are. And they hand it off to Noah Staten. Noah Staten will pick up a couple, and that's about it.
That's what I'm saying is the play action would work so beautifully if Capone Hoffman could do a slant pass, cutting across the middle of the post, skinny post is wide open, fake it to Stanton. Colclaw just drops back and just dumps a short slant pass over to Capone Huffman coming in from the left. It'd be wide open, Mark. I'd see it. You can see it from here. But we'll see if the coaches want to come up with that play call.
And they bring in Gabe Fry here on 2nd down and 9. Chapman in the backfield with Colclaw. Gabe Fry. Snap it to Colclaw. They pitch it to Noah Staten. Staten trying to get the edge. They force him out of bounds. Big hit along the sidelines there, delivered by number 3, Tyshawn Tyler.
I mean, I like Noah Staten as a running back, Mark, but he's a between the tackles kind of guy. He's not really going to get to the corner. That's where I think you either use Capone Huffman. Another play that would work would be a reverse here because of the way the way they're just stacking that box.
Yeah. It's like it's 3rd and 7 from the 49-yard line. Clock moving, 7:35 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Blue Devils up 21-7. And they look at a 3rd and 7 here. Now Colclaw looks to pass. Oh, he had a receiver open out there. It was Gabe Fry in the flat, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, the incomplete pass will bring up 4th and 7.
He also had Nazir McDonald wide open, too, on the 30 with nobody around him. He just could have got the ball to him.
It was the very thing you were talking about, little play action there and try to get maybe a pass completed to.
Well, they had the right play call, Mark. They had the people wide open. They just couldn't execute the pass.
Gabe Fry will punt this one away, standing at his own 35-yard line. And here is his kick. It's a high kick. This one taken near the 20-yard line and tackled almost immediately there was Tyshawn Tyler. Nazir McDonald was downfield, and a couple of his teammates as well, to make sure that Tyler went down quickly. And so Spotsylvania back on the field on offense, and they're going to have this one at its own 24-yard line. And Spotsylvania trailing by 14, 21-7 with 7:09 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
And what's hurt Culpeper in these last few games too, Mark, when they've gotten a lead, they also look at Brentsville, who were able to come back. They had a tight game against William Monroe, almost came back and beat them. So the Culpeper can't rest here on defense.
A lot of movement in that backfield there, feinting and trying to fool the Blue Devils, but it was a quick handoff to the lead back and picked up a couple of yards. I believe that was to number 9, Trevor Crossan. And it'll be 2nd down and 9. He picked up 1 yard, rather. Line of scrimmage now the 25-yard line. 6:40 to play here in the 3rd. Clock moving. Spotsylvania has it 2nd and 9. This is Brandon Waller. He drags a couple of defenders out to the 30-yard line. And it's going to bring up about 3rd and 3.
And big 3rd down play here for the Blue Devils because I don't think they would go. Spotsylvania would go for it here in 4th. The Blue Devils were going to get a stop, but I could be mistaken. But here, Mark, again, that the Blue Devils can't rest on defense because Spotsylvania is only down 2 scores. They get a score here, they're right back in that ball game, right back in this ball game.
Absolutely. 3rd and 3 from the 31. Here's Brandon Waller. He'll have a 1st down and more, 40-45. Blue Devil territory. They'd wrap him up near just inside the 40-yard line. Brandon Waller, biggest gain of the night for Spotsylvania. And as Steve pointed out, if Spotsylvania scores here, they're back in it. They have it 1st and 10 now from the Blue Devil 38-yard line.
And Blue Devils, the defense will look like they're kind of dragging a little bit. They've got to be able to find that football on that misdirection, and especially when they see the center with the quarterback turn and pivot, you know the running back's coming across, and you just got to watch for that handoff.
Spotsylvania, new set of downs. There's Daquan Carter, the keeper, got inside the 35 to the 34, picked up 4 yards, and 2nd and 6. The clock continues to run. We're down to 5:15 and counting here in the third quarter. If you're just tuning in, 21-7 our score in favor of the Blue Devils. First round of the Class 3A Region B side of things. 4 regions in each classification in Virginia. Brandon Waller, the ball carrier near side, breaks a tackle, picks up first down yardage. He got inside the 25. So Brandon Waller going to work here in the third quarter for Spotsylvania, Steve.
Yeah. And what they're doing is just that misdirection is causing Culpeper a little bit of fits. And all they need, those running backs need a little bit of crease, and Waller's a big back, and he's able to pound it up in there. So, Culpeper's got to quit pinching down. They're on defensive line, they're pinching in towards the middle of the field, and it's leaving the wide. The defensive end isn't staying home, and Spotsylvania's able to get the corner.
This is Terrell breaking loose and into the secondary and into the end zone from 23 yards out. Spotsylvania back into this game. Good looking run by Malachi Terrell, and it's 21-13 in favor of the Blue Devils.
And he looked like he was shot out of a cannon, Mark.
He sure did.
And he came through there, and again, missed tackles by the Blue Devils, arm tackling and not. And again, that shows me the defense is a little bit tired right now. And again, offenses are going to come back here and send a statement and answer the score.
Well, Spotsylvania started this drive in its own 23. The point after is up and good. It's 21-14. So Spotsylvania started on its own 23 in 7 plays and 77 yards. And they score on a 23-yard run by Malachi Terrell, and they're back in it. It's a 7-point difference, 21-14 in favor of the Blue Devils.
And Mark, we're talking about the playoffs here. You're one and done here. And again, Culpeper's got to regroup here on defense. But, we're talking about, this region is wide open. And any team, can win this region if they play smart football, because the number 1 seed in this region is Thomas Jefferson out of Richmond. And they're open up against number 8, Armstrong, tonight. And then you've got Culpeper at Spotsylvania, Brentsville at James Monroe, and Skyline at Warren County.
Mm-hmm. Region's sort of wide open for the taking for the team that gets hot, isn't it?
Sure is. And we were saying about teams with losing record. I looked in here in the Group 1 level, Region A. There's Cumberland sitting in the playoffs at 0-10. There's not enough teams in the region, I guess. But
that's like awarding you for participating.
I know. It is. Here you
well,
go.
remember 3 years ago we went to Loudon Valley for a playoff game, and one of the teams that was in it was 1-9 Huguenot.
Yep.
All right, here's the return man here, breaking a couple of tackles, losing his footing and falling at the 35-yard. Yeah, it was Javay Colclough at the 35-yard line. Decent field position for the Blue Devils to send their offense back onto the field and look to reestablish a running game and maybe answer that Spotsylvania drive.
Well, they can move the football on this defense in Spotsylvania. They're very undersized, and Culpeper's got to impose its size on them. But they've got to be able to move the football, and they got to be able to, no mistakes, and just kind of. Spotsylvania's made the adjustment for that running up the middle. Culpeper's trying to attack the edges, but they weren't having too much success on that last drive.
Spotsylvania, moments ago, cut into that Blue Devil lead following an impressive drive. It's 21-7. Colclough, the ball carrier, tried it over the right side. Picked up yardage, got across the 40, out to about the 42. They're going to Colclough. They're saying, he's really going to be your guy who's going to probably be able to take you the distance tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, well, he's in beast mode right now. It's Colclough. He's just running hard, and he's there to do everything offensive player for the Blue Devils. You just hate to hope that he can stay healthy if he were to get nicked up. That could hurt the Blue Devils.
Picked up 6 on the carry, and it's 2nd and 4 for the Blue Devils from their own 41. Well, we got movement right side. I didn't see a penalty flag. Well, there it is. A whistle will stop it.
Yeah.
Dead ball foul against the Blue Devil offense right side.
It's going to be Nazir McDonald again. Moved a little bit, jumped a little bit early. But, Mark, I'm looking at the defensive alignment of Spotsylvania. They're loading so many people in the box, and they have one man deep as a safety. If you sit there and just go trips to the, go trips wide left, or, and just have or send a man in motion, I can tell you right now the pass plays are wide open. I don't understand why Culpepper and their offensive coordinator and the kids coach aren't seeing this. I know Gervais can throw the football.
Mm-hmm. Well, the 5-yard penalty pushes the ball back to the 36 and makes it 2nd and 9 here. Here's Coleclaw. Gonna run it. There he goes. Burst of energy, spinning away from tacklers, gets across the 45-yard line. He will have a Blue Devil first down.
And see, the other thing he's got to learn, Gervais, is I know he wants to keep fighting for extra yards. If he already had the first down, then go down because they're trying to strip the ball away from you.
On a 2nd and 9 play, Coleclaw picked up 10 yards. It moves the sticks. There he is. Coming back to the huddle to make for the next call. 3 minutes, and actually under 3 minutes to play now here in the third quarter. Our score 21-14 Blue Devils. Back on the move from their own 46-yard line. Coleclaw handing off Noah Staten, left tackle. Noah Staten did a good job of picking 8 or 9 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and short. Steve, very important drive. I know you will concur with that because the Blue Devils are chewing up some of that clock, getting some yardage, and if they can answer here, we'll go back to that 14-point lead as we start the fourth quarter fairly soon.
Well, it's called impose your will, Mark, and you're bigger up front and just hold your blocks and keep running. With Culpeper with this bunch formation, it's not easy. It's not too difficult to figure out what they're going to do.
Go back to state and not much doing this time. Maybe a couple of yards on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
His forward progress, I think you should get it, Mark. I think the way the official is, I think with forward progress, he should have the first down.
Well, when you look at the official stage, about a yard short.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is going to be a very manageable 3rd down here. You know what? You can almost predict the ball goes to Coleclaw straight ahead or off tackle for. He only needs a yard. Sometimes when he needs a yard, he picks up 10 or 11.
And Spotsylvania knows this, and they're stacking the box. But here, what would you, if I was to, you could probably pick up the first down. Why not attempt a pass play? Throw it down the middle, because you only got number 88 back deep. And if you could just send somebody, they're not going to do it. They're going to run straight ahead.
There goes Coleclaw. Great effort there. They tried to slow him down, and they did slow him down a little bit, but it wasn't enough. Getting his hand on him was number 1, Brandon Waller, but he couldn't make the tackle. Coleclaw slipped loose and picked up a Blue Devil first down. They have it marked now at the Spotsylvania 43. He needed a yard. He picked up 4.
And Culpeper needs to score here, Mark. And I mean, it's a minute 22 to go here in the third quarter, but if they can get up with that 2-score cushion, that's going to help them in the fourth quarter because of the way that both offenses play. They're ball control football.
You got it. 1st and 10, Culpeper from the Spotsylvania 43. Noah Staten, the ball carrier. He had a wide running lane out there. There was no one there on the edge to stop him. And Noah Staten picks up big yardage and another Blue Devil first down. He's out of bounds near the 31-yard line. That's a pickup of 12 yards.
That was a good call, good play. I think it was an audible by Coleclaw at the line, Mark, because everyone in Spotsylvania is stacked in that middle, and there was the defensive end came right down. And this would be also a very easy defense to option if you were Culpeper. You could option off this because the way their defensive ends are pinching in.
Noah Staten saw nothing but daylight. They go back to the same play. This time kept it over left tackle, actually. Got inside the 30 to the 29. He picked up 2 yards. I saw a little bit of burst of speed on the part of Noah Staten in the play before that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and he went because he saw the edge. I mean, there was nobody there. The defensive end came crashing down, and the cornerbacks. Well, they're really the cornerbacks. The defensive backs are playing inside, almost like linebacker position.
Yeah. Final 30 seconds of the third quarter ticking away here. We've got 2nd down and 8 for the Blue Devils from the Knights 29. Noah Staten back there with Coleclaw. Gabe Fry back there as well. He resets. There's a snap to Colclaw. They hand it off to Noah Staten. Staten breaks the tackle. They stop him shy of the 25-yard line.
That's going to end the third quarter, Mark.
Yeah, final seconds ticking off. And it's official. This one goes in the book. We've played 3 quarters here at Spotsylvania High School, where our score is Culpeper 21, Spotsylvania 14. We'll come back with Culpeper looking at a 3rd and short.
Not everyone is an HVAC expert. Luckily, with 20 years of experience, Able Heating and Air can answer any and all questions you may have about your system. Peace of mind and knowledge that you made the right choice because they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
What do your clothes say about you? Well, if they were screen printed or embroidered at Triple Image, they can speak volumes. Originality, professionalism, experience. Your clothes can speak volumes with custom printing and embroidery from Triple Image. 829-1050. Battlefield Automotive is proud to continue support of our high school youth and the Culpeper community. Winner of the prestigious Ford President's Award for a record 13 consecutive years. Battlefield, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford offers award-winning service and unprecedented selection of new and used vehicles. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community.
CFC Farm and Home Center, hometown service since 1932. Finding the right outerwear for the job is difficult. Luckily, you'll find Carhartt clothing, Red Wing, and Irish Setter boots. From head to toe, it's easy to outfit with CFC Farm and Home Center. Found in Sons Funeral Chapels has made it their business to provide solutions during difficult times for over a quarter of a century. During that time, they've also made an investment in our youth through football, basketball, softball, baseball, lacrosse, skateboarding, and 4-H, among other projects. Good luck to tonight's teams and do your best. Every lifelong relationship starts with day one. At Virginia Community Bank, we'll talk about how you can bank with us for life. With 40-plus years of experience in Culpeper and beyond, it's our privilege to help clients achieve their goals, short-term, long-term, and everywhere in between. Bank with us anytime. Bank with us for a lifetime.
Well, welcome back to our broadcast and to the start of the 4th quarter. As we start the 4th quarter, the Blue Devils have possession, the 3rd and 6 from the Spotsylvania 27-yard line. Our score 21-14 in favor of the Blue Devils. Javay Colclaw goes back to work. He'll be close to the first down
Number
yardage
15, Colclaw on the carry, run out of bounds by number 3, Tyshawn Tyler.
Maybe a yard or two shy, depending on the spot here. Maybe the 21. It's going to be pretty close.
First down,
Yeah, there you go.
Culpeper.
Well, Colclaw is just really the guy who steps up in the clutch for the Blue Devils, and I'll tell you what, he's been so consistent about that.
Mark, you might as well still put the number 6 to 15 on and put the number, the letter S, Superman. Superman Colclaw, that should be his nickname, because he does everything for the Blue Devils. If they didn't have him, where would the Blue Devils be?
Well, that's a good question. You know, we talk about
He's a junior, he's coming back.
Yeah, good.
It'll be a big battle between him and Wilson next year.
Well, it gives him a couple of different dimensions here on first down. Colclaw, this time he's stopping for a 1-yard pickup.
Number 15, Colclaw on the carry, tackled by number 60, Ryan Byers.
He had a big game against Culpeper in the first game, but he's not playing. He's out hurt. But Culpeper just wants to run this clock, Mark, and keep it. But they would love to have a score.
An opening minute of the 4th quarter. And the Blue Devils on the move. They started this drive at their own 35-yard line. They've moved it down to the Spotsylvania 20 where it's 2nd and 9. Javay Colclaw has really been Mr. Clutch for the Blue Devils. Here he is, rolling to his right, looking to throw. And he's got a receiver in the end zone off his hands, off the fingertips of Nazir McDonald.
Number 2, McDonald,
He couldn't have done
incomplete.
much better. He put it right there for Javay.
3rd down and 9.
And he just didn't. It just, I guess it's so cold. I guess he's doing cold stone.
Well, Steve, after the
After the
incomplete pass, now you're looking at a 3rd and 9. So this is 2-down territory, obviously. So do you go Colclaw here on try to pick up your first down? Superman.
That's what I like the nickname. Superman. Again,
There he goes. Full ball. Oh, they exactly throw it off. Nicely done, man. By number 32.
Tackled by 32.
Ian
Surrick. Fourth down.
Then
12.
he can't make a field goal here. So it looks like whoever might call a timeout here to discuss this.
Yeah, because he lost 3 yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 12. So at the 23, 7-yard spot, 30, it would be a 40-yard field goal attempt here. So you figure that's not going to be an option. They'll have to go for it here with a running or pass play. What do you drop dial up here on 4th and 12?
Well, I mean, you can see getting Gervais'
Maybe draw a penalty too. Here comes the pressure. Able to get rid of it, and he had Gate Fry open at the 15-yard line and overthrew him.
They hurry to do their training.
First down.
Now,
Spotsy.
your defense right here. 9:48 here. The ball game. Don't.
With the change of possession, we would like
Score.
to
Spotsylvania will take over at its own 23-yard line, trailing 21-14 with 9:48 to play in the fourth quarter.
Cassie Anderson and Allie Carneal. Well done, ladies.
They really do. A flair for the dramatic. Spotsylvania back on the attack. There he goes, breaking tackles at 35, 40, 45. Midfield, they finally force him out of bounds. That's the ball carrier, Malachi Terrell. Gives the Spotsylvania Knights a big boost there. And a tremendous run to the Culpeper 42-yard line. It's a pickup of 35 yards on the play. First and 10, Spotsylvania. Back to the run. There's a guy, a player who we haven't called tonight, breaking tackles, coming down the blue double 25. Picked up a 17 yards for a play. The number 8, Wyatt Bryan. His first carry of the night. And Spotsylvania's got some momentum here, Steve. They've got it now, first and 10 at the blue double 25-yard line. From the 25. Here's Carter. Here's Brandon Waller. Waller, tough running. Down to
Carried by
the
number
20.
1, Brandon Waller. Tackled by 40, Malari.
5 yards with Blake
Second down
Polari
and
making
5.
the tackle. Sure are. Here's 2nd and 5. Daquan Carter back there, handing off Terrell. And looks like Adam Mifsud makes the tackle for the Blue Devils.
Martin.
Looks like he's going to be a little shy of a first 10.
First down, Spotsy. No, check that. Mark it a little bit short. Third down.
It's a 3rd down and 1 here from the 16-yard line.
Did you see that?
All right, here's a 3rd and 1. Spotsylvania on the move. And this should be enough for a first down by the ball carrier Malachi Terrell.
On the carry.
So Spotsylvania's got some momentum here, Steve. They're knocking on the door
Now,
and threatening
it's enough yards
to
for
tie this ball game up.
They just can't get the defensive stop.
Oh.
Spotsylvania got the defensive stop when they had to, man. Here, Culpeper's got field up here against Spotsylvania. You really got to tighten up your defense. There's the ball on the 10-yard line, or 16-yard line.
Now, actually at the 13. Yeah, all right, here we go. Big one, Carter keeps it straight ahead. He picks up the yardage. a little shy of the 5-yard line.
Jaquan Carter on the carry.
Well, this was a drive that Spotsylvania started on its own 23-yard line. They moved it down to the Culpeper 6. Pick up of 7 yards there, makes it 2nd down and 4. Carter. Here's the handoff. Well, they had the ball carrier wrapped up for lost yardage, and then they did slow him up long enough for the Blue Devil defense to catch up with him and stop Malachi Terrell.
Yep. Larry had him. He was right deep in the backfield, but again, you cannot just hit somebody and expect the running back to go down. You got to really wrap your arms up and hit him.
So they lost a yard on the play, moves the ball back to the 7, and it's 3rd and 5 from that spot. Clock running, 6:35 to play in the 4th quarter. 21-14 in favor of the Blue Devils, but Spotsylvania threatening here to tie it up. They have 3rd and 5 from the 7-yard line. Well, we lost him. And the Brandon Waller, the ball carrier.
By 51 Brown.
And making the tackle, Jaden Brown for the Blue Devils. Now we got a 4th down and a big call coming up for the Blue Devils. Blake Polari a little shaken up off that pile. They have it at the 3-yard line.
Yeah,
Are we going over the?
yeah,
Yeah, you're on the PA.
we're on the PA.
Are we okay?
I can't. I'm not hearing you right now.
Can't hear us. Yeah. 4th down and 1. Here's the handoff. And it looks like the Blue Devils may have stopped him here. Shy of a 1st down. Look at
Number
this.
8, Wyatt Brown on carry. Tackled by
Oh, he got it.
42.
Yeah, they had it, it looked like.
1st down and goal.
No, we got a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Official timeout on the field. Player injury.
Good time to call one. Let's take one as well. We'll be back right after this. Big point after coming up here. Every point crucial. This one to tie it up. Ooh, the kick is up and it's no good. That's huge.
Hunter Wheeler is no good.
Yeah, 21 to 20 our score.
Stadium 20.
How big is that? They need to put together a drive without turning it over, sustaining it, using the clock, and maybe putting some additional points on the scoreboard. But it's anybody's ball game, a 1-point game here with 5:19 to play in this one. Well, you like Spotsylvania's chances now with the change in momentum, don't you? Hunter Wheeler, the kicker. Here's his kick, straight ahead to go. Kaveh Colclaw fields it on a 1-hopper near the 10-yard line. Colclaw, nice return. Look at him breaking tackles, spinning his way across the 35,
Takeoff
about the
number 90,
38.
Hunter Wheeler,
And
taken by
Kaveh
15,
Colclaw, Steve,
Colclaw.
has been that guy
Tackled
that
by
really has been the
88,
go-to
Trayvon
player for the
Tyler.
Blue Devils. He
First
makes
down,
even a
Culpeper.
contribution here on special teams to get his offense good field position as they hold on to this 1-point lead and try to get a little bit more here late in the game. Mm-hmm. from the 38-yard line to go. We got a whistle to stop things before we get rolling. That's because we've got an official
Timeout called by Spotsy. This will be their first charge timeout of the second half.
They had 12 men. They had to call timeout.
As Spotsylvania calls a timeout, let's talk about how Easternview's doing. We have an update on how they're getting against PA. A running clock. So we. And Chris, your prediction was 42-7. Amazing. Grasshopper. Has he been officially your understudy, or is this just sort of happenstance? Yeah. He's a prognosticator. You may be turning that mantle over to one of these young fellows here, Chris Capella, on the scene. I don't think he's got a game wrong all season, has he?
No, he's rolling.
All right.
Howard Cosell.
From the 38-yard line, here is Jave Coleclaw taking matters into his own hands. Gets out across the 40 out to about the 43.
And you know what you got to tell your offensive lineman? No holding calls. That's what you know, because he's got right now, he got 7 yards on the first down carry. So he's looking about 2nd and 3, maybe 2nd and, well, they're going to say 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 4. If you can get 6 yards on every carry, you're going to move it up. You're going to move. It looks like an injured Blue Devil. It's Coleclaw.
Coleclaw. Well, he's been asked to do so many things. It's got to be a little bit of wear and tear on that body out there, and it's cold tonight. He's going to the sideline there.
He's holding his left arm, Mark, and that's not good. Maybe he got a stinger. It's cold. Now, who do you put in the quarterback for? You guys go to Capone Huffman.
Well, you know, he was your starter when this season began. He started the first few games and then made the switch. So.
And he can run the football. He just run it and keep running. Now he'll go to the edge.
And they do put Capone Hoffman in there. And it's a 2nd down and 4 with the clock running 4:42 to play. Here's Hoffman. He gets his chance to run the ball. And he's going to be about a yard shy of a first down. Well, Krim says he has it. Let's see if the officials agree. It's pretty close.
And Coleclaw is coming back in. He just might have took a little stinger.
Steve, they do so it's a first down.
Yep.
So Capone Hoffman comes in relief of Jave Coleclaw for one play, picks up a first down, does the job, gets Coleclaw back in there. Hoffman goes to the sidelines, and the Blue Devils have a new set of downs with 4:15 to play. Clock moving here in the fourth quarter. It's a 1-point game, 21-20. Blue Devils, Coleclaw back in there running the ball straight ahead, breaking a tackle and inside the 45-yard line and to the 43 of Spotsylvania. Nicely done. So the Blue Devils on the move, Steve. So the key here is not only do you hold on to the football, don't get penalties. The clock is now can become your friend.
Right, it is. And with the 1 point, how big is that missed extra point, Mark? It's looming large.
Wow.
It's looming large. And, wish you could have redshirt years in high school, but you can't because it seems like to me Eric Wilson probably will not play this year, and they're going to put him on the shelf, get him ready for next year.
All right, so here it is now. On a 2nd and 1, here's Coleclaw, and they're going to stop him a little shy of a first down. It'll be a 3rd and short situation here, but importantly, the clock continues to run. 3:15 and counting here in the fourth.
Yep, and it's right at the marker, but they're going to say it's short. But again, Coleclaw, right here, you just got to concentrate getting the first down.
And no holding
penalties. Let the clock run. 3rd and 1. Take your time.
Or no illegal shifts.
No illegal shifts. And Spotsylvania knows it's coming right at the middle because look how many people they got in there. They got the whole team in there.
Lewis Chapman Lewis Chapman and Blake Polari back there, and they hand it off. This is Noah Staten. Staten's second effort will give him a first down.
Carried by number 45, Staten.
And that was a good because they're all going to be keying on Coleclaw. So your other players got to step up. So now it brings the first down, and as soon as the markers are set, the clock's going to run again. And now it becomes their friend. And as Culpepper, just like I said, wants to just grind this out.
They have it 1st and 10 at the Spotsylvania 41. They resume the clock, and it's 2:25 and counting. Blue Devils with a new set of downs. This is their game to win, barring a miscue. They have it 1st and 10 at the 41. Javay Coleclaw will take his time. They snap it to him. He'll run it. There goes Coleclaw. Picked up about 3 yards on the play. And the clock continues to run. So if you're Spotsylvania, when do you start calling your timeout, Steve?
Well, you're going to have to start using them here pretty quick because, you know, if you don't stop it here, now it's under 2 minutes. But you really don't call it here on 2nd down. If Spotsylvania can stop them short here at 3rd, that's when they'll call the timeout.
Got a 2nd and 6 coming up here for the Blue Devils, who can take their time, 1:40 and counting, holding on to a 1-point lead, 21-20 here late in the 4th quarter. Coleclaw sets the offense on a 2nd and 6. He's watching that play clock, and here comes the snap. Coleclaw keeps it, straight ahead he goes. And Coleclaw, good effort. He's going to be about a yard shy of another 1st down, which is going to, you know, I tell you what, if they get another 1st down, Steve, that's probably going to seal the deal for them.
Right, and see now Spotsylvania calls timeout. It looks like I said it's going to be about 3rd and about 1, Mark.
Timeout on the field.
Yep, they have it marked at the 33. Picked up 4 yards. Well, this broadcast is made possible by Able Heating and Air. You know, there's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. That's Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. Well, Steve, the Blue Devils, we've talked about this tonight. You know, if they get the win here tonight, this is going to be the first playoff win since 2002. This is huge for the program, and I think huge for Coach Wakefield. So this is their game to win under the circumstances because they have a 1-point lead. Doesn't sound like much. There's only 1:15 to play in the game. They have a 3rd and 2, and another 1st down would pretty much secure that win for them here tonight.
Yeah, 1st down would secure the win because Spotsylvania only has 1 timeout left. Culpeper's got all 3. So, again, it looks like they're going to be about 3rd and, like you said, 3rd and 2. Culpeper, this is 2-down territory here for Culpeper. And they're going to just try to, you know, you can expect Spotsylvania, if Culpeper doesn't pick up the 1st down, Spotsylvania will call timeout.
And so you would almost predict Javay Coleclaw here would get the call on 3rd and 2. Let's see. Here he goes. Javay Coleclaw. He's got a 1st down. And Marty breaks loose. 10-5. End zone touchdown. Javay Coleclaw.
Javay Coleclaw from 34 yards out. Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Wow.
Nail in
How
the
about
coffin
that?
right there.
We were talking about getting a 1st down, a new set of downs, and running the clock, and Javay Coleclaw said no, he thinks he wanted more than that. And what a terrific play by Javay Coleclaw to bust loose like that. 27-20 our score. Gabriel Barros on for the point after, and this one,
I would have thought I would have probably gone for 2 here, Mark, because let me tell you why.
yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking.
And I think Culpeper is too. I think they're realizing it now.
Because as you were going to say, if you get the point after, you got an 8-point lead. Technically, Spotsylvania, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion from tying it. If you get the 2-point conversion here, they have to have 2 scores.
They have to have 2 scores. And that's what I think you got to do. You got to go for 2 here because, and I also think Spotsylvania let them score after he broke that tackle because they realized, hey, we get the ball back with 1:08. That's still time. They proved they can move down the field here in a couple plays.
Well, that's an interesting hypothesis because maybe they did. They think if we can't get the ball back,
right,
unless they score.
So maybe, you know, see if Culpeper, it would have been better instead of Bay scoring. I mean, you can't tell them not to score. It would have been Javay to stop right, just fall down right at the goal line, you know, and then draw out the clock.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can Monday morning quarterback up here in the booth, but that would have been the play. Just fall down right there, tripped. So I got tripped, and then right there, and then they could have run out the clock.
So here they come after the timeout.
Yeah, they're going for 2. I figured they would. You have to. Just makes sense.
That's a good call. So now Blake Polari's back there, Lewis Chapman's back there, Javay Coleclaw, he comes back to direct this 2-point try. There he goes. Can he get in? And yes, he can.
And he does, Mark, and that's what I'm saying now. Puts up 29-20, 2 scores, ball game.
Yeah, exactly. It would take a huge miracle now. I think the Blue Devils have wrapped this one up.
Yeah, they have, Mark,
with
and
a
that was
9-point lead. What a gutsy call there. And then, of course, as you called him, Superman, I mean, he's the go-to guy. And the thing is that the opponent knows he's going to get the ball, but the thing is that Coleclaw has been so effective that you just can't, you can rarely deny him positive
Well,
yardage.
you even look at the college game now. Quarterbacks are the leaders in every, with a running quarterback who can throw, too. I mean, they become the best weapon because they can see the whole field. They know where they're going, and they can read the defense and read where the gaps are. It's kind of hard for the running back to read where the gaps are unless you're really good, like a Devin Ford over at North Stafford, where you got quickness, can move, and like Trey Holmes does at Eastern View, because Matt Lowry's not the running quarterback. The running game's Vini and Trey Holmes at Eastern View, but they're able to cut back and find the holes.
What do you think that if you're the Blue Devil kicking team here, do you try to keep this one on the ground?
You kick it deep, and you kick it on the ground deep. You don't sit there and squib kick it. You don't want to give them starting midfield, minute 8 to go. So Spotsylvania's going to try to air it out. They want to get down here in a hurry, but you don't want them to run it back either.
All right, here is Barros' kick with the Blue Devils up by 9 and a minute 8 to play. Straight ahead they go, fielded at the 15-yard line. Here's a nice looking return. Watch out. There he goes. He's being chased. Blake Polari trying to catch up with him, and he does, but it's too late as number 3, Malachi Terrell, takes it to the house. So you said kick away. That's what they did, but it's 29-26.
But don't give up a kickoff. Don't give up a kickoff return.
Wow. Well, they can go for 2, but does it really matter here? Because they still have to have another score.
They have to have another score. Well, now they got the onside kick.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how could the Blue Devils just cannot stand prosperity, can they? They have to make it interesting at the end. With 53 seconds to go, they give up a kickoff from 85 yards.
Maybe they're thinking, we only want to win by 1 point. We don't want to win by more than that.
I mean, when he was gone, I said, what? And they just, again, Culpeper relaxed a little bit, and then
on for the point after is Hunter Johnson. There's his kick, and it's up and good. It's 29-27. So here's the scenario unfolding. Spotsylvania trails by 2 points. There are 53 seconds to play in this game. You would anticipate an onside kick coming up, and if Spotsylvania were to get it, they might have enough time to try a field goal to win it. And that would be a huge win for Spotsylvania and a devastating loss for Culpeper if that scenario were to unfold.
Well, you got to better have your best hands people up front. This is an onside kick. You know it's coming. Spotsylvania's going to try to crash. You better just get your hands people up front. Just fall on the ball. That's all Culpeper's got to do, and they can run out this clock.
You know who I think one of your best sure-handed players for the Blue Devils is?
Superman.
Brad Krim.
Yeah. Oh, true.
One of your special teams. If you're talking about the guys up front, I think it's who you're talking about, players like that. This is going to be the biggest play of the night for both teams because on the anticipated onside kick, whoever gets possession, if the Blue Devils get it, they can win this game. If Spotsylvania gets it, they're in a position to come back and that would be a huge comeback for them.
Well, I mean, think about it, Mark. Look at how well. I mean, look at the odds. They run a kickoff back, 85 yards, with less than a minute to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and Culpeper just poor tackling. It wasn't the blocking of Spotsylvania; it's poor tackling of Culpeper. They relax, and now all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
This game is hinging right here on this kick.
Kick has to go 10 yards to put it in play, and here it is. Watch out here. There's the bounce. This one goes out of bounds. They're saying both teams say they have it.
It's Culpeper ball.
Woo, wow, look at that. Hey, how about the job the kicker did? You can't do it much better than that.
No, you couldn't.
To put it in a play where you talk about, like in soccer, you talk about 50-50s, where both sides have a 50% chance of bringing it in. That's exactly what the kicker did. He gave his team an opportunity there.
He sure did. And I mean, for a minute, the Spotsylvania thought they had it.
I thought they had it, too. Actually, I thought the ball had actually gone out of bounds with neither team possessing it. So if Culpeper has it, they have it at their own 39-yard line. How many timeouts? Spotsylvania looks like it has one timeout
One
left.
timeout. And they're going to use, I mean, you got to make one running play, but don't drop the football. Don't have a turnover. Timeout Culpeper.
With 53.9 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock, the Blue Devils have a 2-point lead, up 29-27, and first down at their own 39. And they get some last-minute instructions there from their head coach, Ken Wakefield. This broadcast is made possible by Virginia Community Bank, your bank of tomorrow and every day after. Virginia Community Bank, banking for life at 829-6034. Wow, what a game, Steve.
Yeah, but checking on the score from Chris Capella, the star exponent, checking on the Skyline Warren County game, because that's going to be Culpeper. One of those two is going to be Culpeper's next opponent.
After the timeout,
it's Warren 31, Skyline 14 with 9:57
so
left.
it looks like Warren County next week.
Culpeper could be going back up to Front Royal.
They go under center here. Capone Hoffman in and takes a knee. That'll start the clock until the Spotsylvania calls a timeout here, and that would be their last timeout.
And you can kneel it out the rest of the way, Mark. Culpeper, just all you got to do is kneel it.
So it would take for Spotsylvania to win this, and it would take a play like that huge gap the Giants had against the Eagles and Joe Pisarcik going way back. Remember that?
Yeah, but that was the handoff here. They're just going to kneel it unless Capone drops the snap. I mean, Gervais drops the snap. I mean, anything can happen. I didn't think there was going to be a kickoff run back for a touchdown either. But
well, remember
they
when
made
I
this
said,
game close.
Now, remember when I said, do you kick away or do you put it on the ground? And you said, oh, you kick away.
You kick away. You didn't want to give him good field position of that close to the half. The coach to the end of the ball game. But
and like you said,
hindsight's 2020.
No, but like you said, you expect your special teams not to let the other team score at 85 or 80-yard kickoff.
Well, it was
return.
just poor tackling on Culpeper. It wasn't really the great blocking. It was just poor tackling.
Capone Hoffman takes another knee.
And see, that's what they were trying to do, trying to grab, jump the snap. So now the clock's going to continue to run, and all Culpeper's got to do
One more knee. Let the play clock run down, and then take that last knee and let the final seconds run down.
Yeah, there's about maybe 8 seconds differential between the game clock and the possession clock.
This may be the last knee needed tonight. There it is right there. And now they'll let the final seconds run down, 15 and counting. So the Blue Devils, you look across the sidelines there at the fans, they have something to cheer about. They're going to get their first playoff win since 2002, Steve, as the final seconds run down, and the Blue Devils will win this one 29-27 to advance to the second round of the region playoffs next week.
It was a close game. The first one, it was won by, missed 2-point conversion. Culver lost by a point. Here it is, 29-27. And now it looks like Culpeper is going to go on in the playoffs, and it looks like they're going up to Front Royal against Warren County. The Warren County holds on for the win, and a great win for the Blue Devils and Ken Wakefield and the staff. Like you said, first playoff win since 2002, and Culpeper just glad to get out of here, Mark. And I can just see the relief on Coach Wakefield's face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were some nerves there rattled when that kickoff got ran back and then an onside kick. But good football game, good by both teams. And again, Culpeper is still playing football here in the second week in November.
All right. Well, congratulations to Coach Wakefield and his staff and to the players for getting the win tonight. First playoff win since 2002, and the Blue Devils improved to 5-6 overall, and they will advance to the second round next week against the winner of the Warren County Skyline game. Now, as far as we're concerned, our filming assignment next week, since we do the back and forth with Culpeper and Eastern View, we expect to film Eastern View's second round game next week as they're winning big tonight over PH of Ashland. So we expect to see Eastern View next week.
Yeah, we'll be at Eastern View. It'll be one of two things. We could have a big showdown with Dinwiddie, but right now it was at half. I haven't checked. Cortland was leading Louisa 13-7. If Cortland upsets Louisa, then that just helps Eastern View. And Eastern View could, instead of going to Dinwiddie, would end up going to Monacan in Richmond.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us tonight from Spotsylvania High School. At high school, where our final score once again is the Blue Devils 29, the Knights 27. For Jeff Stanfield and Steve Peacock, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils football as you watch them celebrate over there. And we will see you next week in the Eastern View game. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time.